Welcome back to our little series here detailing our development of a fighting game from start to finish. Our last episode, The Big Idea, is now up and details our beginning processes and the concept as a whole. However, quite some time has passed since then, and my buddy
Gage.
and I have since expanded our repertoire when it comes to our fighting game experience. Most notably, with the inclusion of games such as Darkstalkers and Skullgirls into our mental library. So going forward, today's episode, I think, will not only be about our main character, the face of our game, our Shoto here, but also about the gameplay on its fundamental scale, as through understanding the way the game is going to feel, we will then understand how to make characters for it.
Yeah.
So honestly, where do we begin?
Right. It's hard to even know what to begin. It would be interesting to know what most fighting game developers even start with when it comes to making something.
Truly. Should we begin with a system and take, for example, Soul Bad Guy and just put him in and see how we turn Soul Bad Guy into what we want to make? Do we take Luke, for instance, and see not only how we turn his fundamentals into a 4-button, but also what we do? Let's actually talk about buttons. Let's have a little bit of a button chat.
That's a good idea.
Let's talk a little bit about the buttons. So last time, we brought up the fact that we're thinking of a 4/5 button fighter.
Yeah.
But we've had kind of this revelation, I think, that if we move more towards that Guilty Gear 4 normals, truly kind of 5 normals.
Right.
We're not too far separated from a 6-button fighter, are we?
Mm-hmm. It almost feels like Guilty Gear is more like a hybrid 6-fighter.
Right, just
6-button fighter.
Yeah, kind of.
With, as in almost 5 normals, instead of just maybe even 3 normals, and then the rest of the buttons working differently.
So let's say we have our little game controller here, right? We have buttons on. Let's just look at all the buttons we have to work with, really, right? We have 2 shoulder buttons,
right?
And then this is just a stand-in for the D-pad.
Yeah,
even though I put I put the stick in there.
Right.
So this is everything we have to work with.
The standard is usually just movement, and then you have 8 buttons in total.
Yeah.
Typically, the right half, the 6, are usually set to something specific, and then the left half is usually macros and certain buttons.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, truly, where do we begin? Because should it be a la Guilty Gear, where we say punch, kick, ability, second ability?
Right. And while that one definitely works, because Guilty Gear, typically most characters have a weapon, it's also what if we have characters that are more focused on kicks, and then them only having one kick?
Yeah, what if we make an armless character?
Right, something like that. It's do we necessarily label it as punch and kick, or do we necessarily, or slash and heavy slash are the weapon move? We don't necessarily know how many of our characters
last time we also talked about light, medium, heavy, unique, interesting. How do you feel about that?
Well, what we kind of talked about, where having the shoulder buttons be more like the unique moves, our dust-like move, and our unique, as we literally called it, a unique type move, those don't really feel like they're going to exactly work like normals, but having 4 just almost fully traditional normals feels like it gives you the most range with your character.
So I do like that idea. I think that's what we will settle with. I think the only issue is figuring out what separates these normals from each other.
Right.
So normal 1, which I'm going to label them just numbers right now. Right. I should actually do north, south, east, and west.
Okay, yeah.
Let's just call them that for now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
North, south, east.
That's wrong.
West.
That's wrong.
Oh, God. Oh
There you go.
no.
There you go.
I just looked like the biggest idiot on the internet. Oh dear God, I have to cut that out.
You don't cut out your mistakes.
I'm cutting it out. Okay. Alrighty. All right. North, south, east, west. Let's call these, like R1, R2.
Yeah,
like normal.
that's fine. Yeah. So it's interesting to kind of compare 6-button fighters to what Guilty Gear does, because 6-button fighters typically do light, medium, heavy punch, light, medium, heavy kick, and then Guilty Gear is like, how about we do heavy slashes like your heavy, and then you have slashes more like your medium, and then your punch and kick are both kind of like lights.
Right, but when you think of them, you think of like punch and kick. These are two fast moves. Kicks are typically the ones that have low access. Yeah. Punches are typically stubby moves. Like you understand there's stubby moves, or even like general utility tools like 6P or your Abare moves where you spam those in the middle of a block string that isn't true.
Yeah.
Whereas slash and heavy slash, those two are not only named as a convention, but slashes are kind of mid-ranged things that relate to your character's weapon or their concept, and heavy slashes, your bigger versions of those.
Yeah.
So are we thinking something similar for our ideas here, where it's like a punch and a kick? I remember last episode you talked about something that I didn't really follow you on, but now I'm kind of getting where you are with it, where it's like low, high, so you can understand those, and then whatever these two might be.
Okay, right.
What do you think of that?
Low, high, light, heavy? Because like low isn't necessarily a light move.
Right.
And high isn't necessarily a light move.
Mm-hmm.
So
here's an interesting thing. This would be a fucked up scheme truly, but low, high, medium 1, medium 2.
Okay, because you're literally high and it's literally low.
Yeah, we're cooking with something odd.
And then you got your two,
We're cooking with something a little odd here.
Right.
This almost like these buttons being this way almost makes me feel like Punch Out. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
where it's like left jab, right jab.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Right.
That's what this is for.
Right,
Because
exactly.
it seems like a bad idea.
Right, but it's also it's nice because it's weird that like games kind of label them as like punch and kick, and then you got like in Guilty Gear, there's some characters where kicks aren't really that good, don't really make that sense for that character, and then there's characters in like Street Fighter where it's like, how about just 6 punches instead?
It's just 6 punches, but these are mid punches and these are lower punches.
So it almost makes labeling it not as punch and kick kind of opens us up to being like,
really
this character has 3 kicks, this character only has 1 kick, this character has no kicks because their legs are stubby.
Yeah, it makes it really broad for us.
Right, which might be good because we don't really know what our characters are going to look like exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. So let's make another stick figure here, right? Let's just think about a stick figure standing still. I'm going to kind of give him the same. Grand.
Yeah.
He's going to put up his dukes. He's going to get ready to brawl. This guy, this man we've created here, needs to fight. He yearns for combat. Now, if you press this button, what happens?
I'm imagining the jab.
You're imagining a jab, but this is mid 1. Interesting. So you're imagining, your little whoop punch.
Right. I mean, even if you just think universally in like Street Fighter and Guilty Gear, that move.
Right. Everyone understands this is your stubby little psh.
Right.
You throw your little jabby. All right. And what happens when you push this button?
I imagine probably not for this guy doing like a headbutt type move, but even maybe just like a, overhead, maybe even an uppercut.
Yeah, like he puts both his hands together and kind of slams them down.
Right.
Okay, interesting. What happens when he presses this button?
That one is definitely going to have to be his kick, whether that be a sweep or whether that just be like a quick, poke.
Interesting. Yeah, just kind of like a
right.
Okay. And finally, this button.
I imagine that kind of as like the
his
mid-range.
Chop,
he's chop.
Karate chop, a little bit more of an extended wump.
Right.
Okay, interesting. I like this idea we have going with highs and lows, and then your two sort of medium buttons. I don't like calling them your medium buttons.
Right, not necessarily, but I'm kind of just thinking them as like.
Yeah, we should call them something else. Is there like a casino themed idea, a gambling themed idea? Your what are the two cards called in blackjack?
The two cards?
Yeah, the two cards you get in blackjack.
Oh, interesting. Right, you kind of like how Guilty Gear names them Slash. It almost gives them identity.
Right.
Just in the name of the move itself.
It does. And it even says it at the end of the game when you die. Slash. Ace and a 10 card.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, no, that's not. Okay, cool.
Um,
Yeah, no, that's just telling you what blackjack is.
Is there a name for like your initial hand? Is that what you're talking about?
Right, yeah, like you
What
know
is
how
there?
in poker, Texas Hold'em, there's like the river, the turn of the river,
Okay.
there's the flop, big blind, little blind.
I've not heard
Big
this.
blind, little blind
That's
is
funny.
something.
That's
Big
funny.
blind and little
I
blind
haven't
is
heard these
something.
terms before.
Big blind and little blind in Texas Hold'em. I'm not going to explain them to you, actually.
No? Okay.
Just understand that they're called big blind and little
Yeah, that's
blind and that they're gambling terms. I mean, let's rock with that for now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Big
Yeah.
blind, little blind. So let's just call this one LB
Yep.
and this one BB.
BB.
Cool. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything yet, but all right. What are we thinking about R1? Because this is the closest button to your normal move set.
Right. Which does this not then make sense to be more like the dust-like move?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does make sense to be a dust-ish thing, but what do you imagine happens when you just press that button raw?
Right. Because we kind of already have our overhead, we have our low move, we have our mid-range.
And we've
like our
talked
quick
about how
punch.
we want a button to be unique to the character, right? So this would be one of the ones that's like unique to your character.
Would you want both of those shoulder buttons to be like a unique
thing?
to your character? Because R2 in this case would be like the unique button. Like the
Interesting.
unique normal.
You think is one of these like a utility and the other one is a unique?
Right,
Do you
utility
think?
and unique.
Utility and unique.
And does dust is like utility, right? Would
Yeah,
you say?
dust is a utility button.
Right, and so then I was thinking R2 would be like the
Unique button.
still like a normal, but obviously kind of.
We're gonna call this
lower
the
thing.
twist button
Okay,
because
you wanna go-
saying
yeah.
unique and utility is horrible. All right, let's say U and then T.
Yeah.
What happens when you press U raw? Universal overhead.
Then how is that different from
Right, exactly.
H
I mean,
move, right.
that's why we're cooking here.
Right.
Is it like this is the Hadoken?
No, I don't think that.
Do you think maybe this guy, if we're thinking about it, is this where this guy throws out like a fiery punch?
No, because it still feels more like this doesn't feel like it's like a special move.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Interesting. Doesn't feel like it's a special move.
No.
So then what is it?
Right. What does utility mean then? You know, it's giving you.
Yeah.
You know.
So, I mean, in Dust, when you're crouching and doing it, it's a big fat low
Right.
that you can usually special cancel out of. So, what should it be when you're not low?
Right.
Because if this is like an overhead, if that's a universal overhead button, which by the way means no, it doesn't mean this has the easiest mix of any game, because this button could take forever to come out or not even be an overhead.
Right.
It just hits high, and you know that it does. It could literally just be like an uppercut.
Right.
So
it
it's
could
your
be-
anti-air.
Right, or it could be just an even bigger like you know hits them more like around the head area.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So what does that mean for pressing this utility button raw? Because we have low, but also this is a low. So
Is that low? That one doesn't. That one's a low.
this one here,
Yeah. That's a low.
yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, this is the one where you're like, that's your little kick.
Yeah. Right. So then having this utility one be the low doesn't necessarily make sense.
But a la Guilty Gear, you have your little kick low to open them up, and then your big sweep.
Which knocks them down.
Right, because I imagine this is your sweep button. This is your I want a knockdown with a low.
Right.
So what does it mean when you press it raw?
Just on top, nothing.
I had a dumb idea. Parry.
I literally also thought like a guard, like almost like a, instead of like attacking, you almost like, you know, with put your fists out as like
Interesting.
you hit them. You know.
Do you think
like
this has a back blocking then?
Like you use it when you get blocked, or you use it and then they hit it and then they get like pushback?
Right. I'm saying like instead of holding back to block, do you press this button?
No, I don't think that.
Okay.
You know.
Because in my mind, I'm imagining like a faultless defense, right? Mm-hmm. I'm imagining it's your block, extra push block. Mm-hmm. Or my parry idea where it's you engage a parry state.
So not like a timing of the parry, but like you go into a state where if you
No, like a timing the parry, but it's more of like a flash, like a parry flash, like Biken in Guilty Gear.
Okay. Right.
That's, I think, a very cool idea.
Yeah.
That's a very baller idea.
Yeah.
And I like it because it's risk reward, baby.
Right.
It's risk reward, baby.
You throw it out, you get punished.
I also do like the idea of you holding it for your faultless defense, for like a push block.
Oh, okay.
Or, screw that.
I was gonna...
It's your, like, you know how in Skullgirls you can push block? Mm-hmm. That's the button you do this with. If you're...
while you're blocking, you just push that and then...
Exactly.
And it's not like Darkstalkers, we have to push 4 or 6 buttons.
No. This is the button you
like,
press when you're guarding to send it out.
But then when would you not want to use that?
What do you mean?
Like, when would you not just always do that when you're blocking?
Well, because if you're not getting... Oh, the shit, that's true. But why would you not do that in Skullgirls?
Right. How does it work in Skullgirls? Do you just push a button?
In Skullgirls, if you're in hit stun, you can push block them at any time.
Right. So then it's interesting of like, when would you know?
But you can technically do that in Darkstalkers too.
Yeah,
I think it's
really
just the
hard.
nature of the fact that in those games, characters are oppressive, right? Even pushing them back, it gives you room to breathe, sure, but it doesn't really earn you that much other than pushing them
What
off
if it's
of
almost like if you push it and you're not getting hit, then your block becomes like worse in some way?
Well, in Skullgirls, the way it works is that you can do it on any move, sure. And when you do it, you can act before the person who hit you. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you can do it, and it's basically like they just hit you, but they got pushed back a little bit. But you're in end lag after the push, right?
Which means you're not going to punish them necessarily. Whereas sometimes someone does an unsafe move on your block, instead of pushbacking it, you're just going to come out with a grab or something.
Exactly. Oh yeah, the fact that it pushes them away.
Right.
And I get the feeling we're making a game where you want to be on top of your opponent.
Right.
I think that matters too.
Think about the grappler and someone comes up and does an unsafe move on your shield. You're not going to want to push them back.
Right, exactly.
Do the grab out of it.
And if it's like the Skullgirls thing where you have end lag for doing it, sure, it might be a little end lag, but if it leaves you negative, if you're pushing back something like the little kicks or your little blind,
right,
then, well...
They're going to be super plus.
They're super plus on you now. So I think it is a push block button. Yeah. I really like that.
And it's not just you always want to do it when you're blocking. It's
right.
Just sometimes that's what you want.
It's a sweep, it's a parry, and it's a push block. Mm-hmm. That's really good.
Yeah.
I like that. What should it do in the air? Air parry?
That's cool.
I think it should be, right? Air parry. It's just an air parry?
Yeah. And then
where's parry?
What?
Where's parry?
Yeah, well, we haven't got that far yet. Is it also like a when you're air blocking? It's also an air push block.
Yeah, air push block. I like. Yeah.
I feel like the sweep, we'd want to give something unique to it that makes it like it's still a sweep, but just to kind of differentiate it from just a normal. You know, instead of it just being a normal big sweep, it does. I don't know. Give it some.
Right, because I guess
property or
the big blind would be your sweep too if you're doing it crouching, right?
Right.
So what should it do when it's crouching? Right. Especially with the things we've said it to do, it's not really a move in any of the other things we said it
right.
does.
It's not like a normal in that sense.
So is it like in Skullgirls, Big Band, he has to specifically parry low.
Oh, he has to push down.
Yeah, so do you think it's a low parry?
You have to be... So does that just mean you have to be crouching?
Yeah.
Right, because I'm pretty sure in Third Strike you can just push...
Yes, absolutely, because that's one of the ways you can beat a parry, right?
Right.
With how powerful the tool is, you can beat it by hitting it with a low or with a grab.
Right.
But if they expect, and that's where, that's rock, paper, scissors for you.
Right. Because it does not work in Third Strike where you just push the parry button regardless of if it's a...
That's one of the reasons why parry is so strong in Third Strike.
Right, is you just push that forward direction, time it to whatever move they're doing, and you're going to parry it.
Exactly.
Whereas in this, you still have to predict what...
You still have to play the game, whereas if someone's coming at you from the top with a big old kick, you still need to be ready to parry it. And sure, you'll get it if it's an overhead, but they might empty jump. Now they're down here and they hit you with a low while you're in your parry state. Congratulations, they still got in on you. You just didn't get rewarded, and it's like you just got hit anyway.
Right.
Or you guess right and you got rewarded by knowing they're going to go for a low, or you see that they're crouching in the corner next to you wanting to do something to you while they're here, and you're like, obviously they're going to try to throw out their little low to open me up. I'm going to parry low.
Right. And that action would be to crouch and then push
parry.
the button.
Yeah.
Right.
I really like that. I really like that as a defensive. It's almost a defensive button.
It
now.
is.
We've made it a defensive button.
The defense button.
I'm actually going to rename it to the defense button.
Right, because every action that we assign to it
It's
is
defensive.
Defensive, because we did the guard cancel thing and the parry. Yeah.
And I like that block can't be that good in this game, right?
Right, especially because we're giving
Because it's
this.
all got to be about risk reward. And what's more risk reward than a parry?
Right, and the reason that adding this defensive of a mechanic is actually going to be good for this is because if we're making really aggressive options and making offense really strong, then having this strong of a defensive option isn't going to make the game overall be super defensive. It's just going to make a way for the offensive part to not be super oppressive.
Right. And of course, the fact that it's a parry means you're getting some Mondo reward when you're making that call out appropriately.
Which then leads into the offense.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
So with that sorted, this was the one we were thinking of, a special character-esque thing, right?
Right. I'm kind of thinking if I don't know if we're necessarily specifically doing this idea, but we've kind of thrown out the idea of greed, pickpocketing or something. Say you have that kind of unique mechanic in a character where certain moves do this pickpocket mechanic.
But
this would be the move.
Do you think this is doing, is this he grabs you and pickpockets you?
Well, I'm kind of wondering if this should act more like a normal and that just has special properties, it gives you some kind of reward when you do it, or maybe it has this is the move that maybe has crazy disjoints on the specific characters, that utilizes their body more, or again, should it be a normal that has a unique mechanic?
I think I see. So for example, with this stick figure man, if his thing is that he's all about fire, this would be his punch that's fiery and sets you on fire.
Right.
Okay, I like that.
It has a special property directly linked to that character.
And that makes sense as to why it's called Twist, too.
Right. And I mean, their normals can still be kind of unique. This character has really big arms, so they're going to have a very far-reaching, maybe even slower move. Or maybe they have some unique poison mechanic where, well, I guess you would kind of want their normals to just be normal and then kind of save something like that for the...
And we mentioned, I even mentioned last time how, say, if there was a puppet character in this game, you'd control the puppet with that button.
Right, so imagine you can send out the puppet, say, with a special move, but then after that, that move specifically...
I think of Misfortune's head in Skullgirls,
okay.
The way you control that with your heavy punch button.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Is that button specifically is dedicated to that?
Her head,
and then that's how it would work in here.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. And then we brought up earlier, Happy Chaos's gun. This would be the... this would be the shoot the gun.
Okay, well, I mean, that's good. We have it. Now let's make our first character.
Right. Just one thing to add, just a technical thing, is maybe we should switch Twist and defense. It kind of feels more since Twist is a normal, it should be
you're
one
so
closer
correct.
to the normals.
You're so true. You're so true and evident and real.
Thank you.
I do believe these truths to be self-evident.
I speak the truth, nothing but the truth.
Cool.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
So let's make Greed.
Yeah.
When we're making a character, we're starting from absolute scratch here.
Right.
Where should I make a new Photoshop file for Greed?
Oh, you want to give him his own? That kind of makes sense. Right. And then we kind of add the
Exactly.
highlight of it to this one.
Yeah.
That's a good
I like
idea.
that idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's make a new one for Greed.
Yeah.
Should it be the same size? It's going to be huge.
True. Doesn't really matter.
Cool.
Fun little thing that I learned today while you're doing this is in Darkstalkers, every single character in that game had their own character designer.
You're kidding me.
So instead of just one or two guys making like the general roster, every single character in that game had a person on the team that made that character, and then they had someone fit them all together.
That is really incredible.
Right.
That is phenomenal.
Does that not make like that concept art we looked at even cooler then?
Yeah.
Like this person being like, I'm gonna design this character. I think that's interesting. I think designing a character in general is really interesting, and one of the main points that I want with our character, I think the most important things in a character, right, are identity.
Absolutely.
Of course, you want to be able to see a character and like remember them, you know, be like, I remember that character for this thing they had. Like, think about like Darkstalkers, you know, you're like, I think of Talbane because he's a karate werewolf guy. Like that inherently is just like cool, you know, or like, you know, you want characters to, I remember Potemkin, he's this giant, you know, guy who has these massive arms and he's all about, you know, getting the grabs in, and he has a lot of fiery like rocket moves. Like, you want characters to be memorable and have identity and, you know, be distinct. If a character, you initially see them and then you kind of just forget about them, you know, that's what you don't want to
It's
happen.
also important because this is our face of the game, you know what I mean?
Right, exactly. And that's kind of hard. That's even... Right, it's like what makes a main character good? What makes a good main character, you know?
Right, they need to be representative of the game as a whole.
Right, really fit the tone.
Mm-hmm,
right?
Absolutely.
Fit like the aesthetic of it and... Right.
So let's begin. When we by ourselves talked about our greed idea, I kind of mentioned he's got this almost magician theming going on.
Right.
Because, you know, magicians are all about sleight of hand and clever tricks, and there's a lot you can do with the theme of magician.
Right. And we kind of also mentioned like the idea of like a pirate. So it's almost like a mix of like, what if like a magician pirate, in the sense of like, he's a magician, but he's also, since he's greedy, you know, he's really like almost kind of nasty in a way.
I say we do some Googling.
Okay.
Because when I think of the magician look, my first thought immediately went to something like Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon. Is just sort of wrapped in this...
Okay.
Wrapped in a big cape with a big, stupid, goofy-looking top hat. Kind of this, like, gentlemanly look. But magician.
Right.
What happens if we just Google magician? Are we just going to see an
image?
image?
A stock photo.
It's going to be a stock photo of a guy, right?
Yeah, just some, like, funny-looking middle-aged white guy.
It was exactly what you said it was. It was precisely what you said it was.
So that's a like a wizard.
Another reason I think he should be magician-y is because magicians wear suits.
And
right,
and that fits casino.
Exactly. If this guy is going to be the face of the game, he should be most like the base idea.
Absolutely right. When you think of a casino...
And look at these colors being used. All these reds and
red
whites
with black and white.
I mean, this one even has playing cards. Magicians are always, look at this card.
Red, black, and white.
Is this your card? Yeah.
It seems the color palette is on pretty much every single one of these is red, black, and white. Like, that's a universal.
Yeah.
It seems like that's...
Absolutely.
You know, there's the money. I could pull money out of a hat.
I'm gonna.
That's a...
Oh no, I can't add it. I can't just drag and drop it.
You have to
No.
copy it.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, maybe I can copy it. This is
funny.
good.
This
I'm
is
adding this
really-
to the board.
Look at these 20s, bro.
Yeah.
There you go, yeah.
Okay.
Stacks of 20s.
Stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks. Okay.
So I like the magician theme.
Yeah.
I also think he needs to be a little...
He needs to be a little goodgy.
Yeah, he can't be like, you know, super uptight fancy, but we kind of want this like...
Look at how cool this guy is.
You said...
How beautiful Google is. You can do this. It's free. You can do this at your local
Yeah,
library.
you can.
You can. Okay, he gotta be sleazy. He's
Right,
gotta
that's
be sleazy.
That's what I mean. He we don't want him to be like this super like proper and, you know, well-fitted man. Sure, he has the suit, but he's also kind of like snarly and businessman.
Businessman.
Okay, but these are like cool business guys.
Car salesman. Yeah?
Okay.
Car salesman?
Again, these guys look very professional and like, okay, this guy.
What if I look up sleazy car salesman?
Okay, like this is yeah, a sleazy like business car guy.
Yeah, I did spell sleazy correct. Oh,
No, this is like
this
what,
is the good
you know.
stuff. Oh, now we're cooking with gas. Mama, my mia.
Like,
My mia.
like a guy that you look at and you're just like, yeah, if this is a boss of a company, he does not pay his employees well.
They gotta be lovable too.
You know? Right. You don't want him to be completely just like, this guy's a jerk.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why you always brought up Wario, where Wario is simultaneously absolutely a jerk, but
Right.
you're also like,
You
he's
do-
such a funny guy.
You love him.
Like
You love looking at him.
You know, 100% Wario is like perfectly green.
Oh, good for Wario.
You know? Like, no, but like that.
No, yeah, they've got to be lovable. They do.
Right.
You have to like them.
Think about Soul Bad Guy, where he's like totally a jerk.
He's a total jerk.
You know.
He looks like a jerk.
You know.
His name is Bad Guy.
Right, but then the fact that his name is Bad Guy makes you like it.
His
Because his name is Soul
Bad
Bad
Guy.
Yeah.
He's the only bad guy.
Right.
He's the sole
He's
bad
the
guy.
Soul Bad Guy. No, but you're right. Wario really is like the perfect like. Because who doesn't like Wario?
Who doesn't like
You
Wario?
know, but he's also like a total jerk.
Yeah.
But then you still like him.
Waluigi.
It's because he's a jerk, but he has like a lot of personality.
It's
and he's
kind of
just, like,
there. It's the personality.
right.
Yeah.
You know, like he's not just a jerk. You know?
Yeah.
Like he's kind of a jerk, but he's also a lovable personality.
Waluigi might be a good.
Because say we're thinking more like
Yeah.
not really like a big guy. We're thinking more kind of like a taller like.
A taller
Probably,
individual.
you know.
Yeah. Or maybe they are like a fucking
Well,
buff magician.
I don't think like huge,
absolutely
but
toned
I mean
magician.
he can have muscle. Sure, he's not gonna be like super lanky, but I still think kind of not like as like Wario, where he's like a very big guy and he's also.
He's Italian.
I mean,
I'm joshing. I'm joking. I'm making a goof. All right. Waluigi. Should we put Waluigi on the board?
I feel like Wario not like Wario in terms of his personality represents it more.
Yeah.
Not in visuals, but Wario in terms of a character.
I'm gonna put up this
You
image
know,
of Wario
yeah.
just
It's
so
classic
we can
Wario,
always
you know?
remember. Just so
Yeah.
we can always.
We
have
can
it in
always
our
remember who
hearts.
Wario is.
Yeah.
And he's a little tiny guy.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's because he doesn't have
Yeah.
that much of an influence.
Right, it's right.
He's just there.
Yeah.
Okay.
perfect.
So Wario, magician, Wario. What else? I feel like pirates not really there.
You know the
But pirates are kind of there because
Right.
they are kind of like dressed well with ruffles and
right.
whatnot.
I'm not thinking exactly a pirate, but also like kind of the themes of a pirate. You know who I'm kind of thinking of? You know the villain on Princess and the Frog?
Oh, Dr. Facilier.
Yeah, that guy. Because he's kind of like magician, right?
No, you're so right. He's kind of, yeah. He's got hoodoo. He's got voodoo. He's got things you ain't even tried.
Exactly.
And I've got friends on the other
I mean, this is another guy who is a magician, but he's also like the bad guy, but he's also likable. A lot of people like this guy. He's cool.
It's the green, it's the green, it's the green you need. And when I look into your future, it's the green that I see.
Wow, that is
That's actually very good.
very
that's
stylized.
That's a very nice caricature.
Yeah.
I like where you are with them. But as I recall, no, he's kind of good.
Yeah.
He's kind of there.
That's what I'm saying.
I like him.
Like, I think I subconsciously kind of thought of him.
Dr.
when he
Facilier.
first said that.
I also think like pirates can be well dressed. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think maybe let's think of a well dressed pirate because I think of those big stupid ruffles and whatnot.
Well dressed pirate.
A well dressed pirate. I also think about how in Guilty Gear, you can kind of make a Guilty Gear concept character just by mashing a bunch of different concepts together.
Oh, absolutely.
Cowboy, samurai, pirate.
I was literally going to say Johnny. I was literally going to say like,
Cyberpunk, vampire, samurai, Nagoriyuki.
yeah.
And magician, pirate.
Right. That's what I'm
Magician,
saying.
look at all
A
these reds and
magician
blacks,
pirate.
baby.
Dude, that's so true. Yeah, this is like a general theme with.
Look at these reds and blacks. I know these are all.
Okay, that is a little over the
I
top.
can do this for free. Should I look up an image? Oh, Captain Hook. Everyone loves Hook.
Oh, true. That's a very good example too. Right, because he's not like a dirty guy.
Right, but he has a sleaziness to him.
Right.
That's the Neverland Pirates. Jake and the Neverland Pirates, Captain Hook. Oh no, Google's having a problem.
Pirates.
I like that image of him. I like this one where he's smoking smoking 2 doobies simultaneously
Through a splitter.
Yeah, that's pretty great. I like that. Oh, dude, Hook.
Yeah, Hook is definitely right. These are lovable like villains. You know, people like these villains.
I think we put Hook up there.
Definitely.
I like which image of him
That
should
one's
we
kind
put
of
up?
funny. But also him smoking isn't like
Him smoking's pretty grand,
you know.
but it's gotta be lovable. You love
Right.
him. You love this guy.
Right.
You love this man.
Right.
I played him once.
Really?
I did.
Oh, you mentioned that.
I have.
Yeah.
Hook.
Yeah, that.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like this one of them. I think this is the one we take.
And go visit Disney Wiki.
Wikipedia.
One day we'll have our own wiki.
We will.
And these images will be in the wiki.
They exist right now. Listed under references. Disney's Peter Pan. Disney's Princess and the Frog. Nintendo's Super Wario.
Google stock images. Magician with money.
Getty Images. Magician with money. Okay, I like where we're cooking. I
Yeah.
really like where we are.
Yeah, this is good.
I
Actually.
really like where we are. I'm actually a pretty huge fan. If I am conceptualizing here, suit, hat,
Oh, what do you mean?
in how this character looks. So they've obviously got a suit, but in this
I thought you
sense-
meant suit as in card suit, like we were saying, which one he belongs
That's
to.
a
and I was
funny.
like,
That's a
yeah.
funny thing to happen when we're
Yeah.
talking about this.
No, but I see what you mean. Yeah.
Right. So ruffles. This is horrible. This is terrible. I'm not drawing. I'm not gonna draw. We're just gonna put images on from the internet up. Okay. I like where we are here.
Yeah, like the ruffles that Captain Hook has.
Mm-hmm.
The hat. Are we thinking top hat type
Top.
thing?
I mean, top hat,
know,
right?
People like top.
Is a
hats.
monocle too much? Yeah. Because I also kind of imagine the Monopoly man.
Well, yeah, he's literally about money.
Yeah. And greed.
Like he's not one that you necessarily think of like as a villain.
And capitalism.
Dude, it's like the old image of him, like the retro image.
What do you mean?
Like yes, like
This-
more like the cartoony ones than it is like this. This image is hilarious.
This-
Please click on this.
This is.
That's such a... like that. Yeah, that's funny. But no, like this one where he's running with the money, like that. You know. 'Cause no one thinks of this guy as like a villain, but he's totally like.
No, he's taking the money and
But
running.
I mean, like Monopoly is like a bad like. Monopolizing things is bad, but no one's ever like, oh, the Monopoly guy is,
actually a huge criminal.
you know, but like people usually hate super rich douchebags, but the Monopoly guy everyone likes.
You love him. You're a fan of him.
Oh, they made him evil in this
You
one.
can't get enough of him. This
Wow,
one he loves weed.
He took a different direction.
I think this one's AI. No, it doesn't. Maybe it's not. Okay, let's put this one up. Or this one has the monocle, which he doesn't actually have. This one might be good.
Well, that's like the classic image of
Yeah,
him.
take the money and run. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
And you also love
why do
visiting
I
Etsy.
click on
You
it?
can buy that? It's a
Oh,
sticker.
you totally just peeked the microphone.
Oh, I'm so
You
sorry.
mondo did. Oh man, that's not gonna come across good.
Sorry, guys.
Don't refer to them as guys.
He's gonna censor that with a whoop sound effect
I'm not.
instead of whatever.
I'm
I
not gonna
did.
make a funny slide whistle. All right, the Monopoly man.
Yeah.
Okay. I like where we
We have a lot
are
of likable
at.
characters here on screen.
A lot of likable characters. Love Hook, Dr. Facilier,
Yep.
Wario, the Monopoly
Monopoly,
man.
right?
We have this image is so good.
Yeah, it's
This image is great. It's kind of everything I want it to be.
it
Okay.
is.
Where else? What is there any other gap we're missing here? Because I feel like we maybe have a concept down. Let's look at the 7 deadly sins. Greed.
Yeah, the toad part.
In the words of Henry Edward Manning, avarice plunges a man deep into the mire of this world, so that he makes it to be his god. As defined outside Christian writings, greed is an inordinate desire to acquire or possess more than one need, especially with respect to material wealth. Okay, like pride, it can lead to evil. Let's look at the main article for greed.
So I'm interested, like the distinction of like the Christian definition and like the general definition.
Yeah. I mean, this is interesting. This is really interesting.
Right, this is like a thing that like on our own time we really need to like read up on and like eventually.
Well,
like,
I mean, this is part of the process.
well, yeah, true. So I mean,
the initial motivation or purpose of greed: personal or family survival, intent to deny or object.
so what I really want to know is like what like is thought of to be like the reason greed is so bad. You know, like what is like. Well, obviously, I'm not saying I don't know why, but I'm saying like what do they say of like don't do this sin because like what does greed do to you that is negative?
That is, oh yeah, mamma mia. Oh, mamma
Wow, there's a
mia.
whole lot going on.
Thank
here.
you, Wikipedia. Everyone pay $5 to Wikipedia. You should.
And tell us tell them that we sent you.
I have. I paid $5 to Wikipedia.
Did you actually?
I did, for real. I think I paid $10 to
Really?
Wikipedia. Yeah.
I ignore that every single time.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That either makes me a bad person or a really smart
Well,
person.
it makes you an average person, I'd say.
Oh, and so you're
Why
gonna know that.
I'm a smart person? Because you know everything already. You don't need Wikipedia. I already know it all. I already know. I don't need to pay for it. Interesting. Modern economic thought frequently distinguishes greed from self-interest, even if in its earliest works. The spirit of capitalism integrated a flaw. I mean, we've got capitalism in there.
Yeah,
right?
we do. We have
We
a
mono
monopoly
do.
guy.
I mean, I also named this guy Ace.
Mm-hmm.
Ace. And that's, I mean, we've definitely got card themes to play with.
Right.
We've got all the card themes to play with, which I just works because magicians are always manipulating cards. This, I think we have enough to really get this guy going. Do you think?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at all this stuff. Popular culture, American greed,
The animal that's it is toad, right?
a toad.
And I can really imagine a toad. We just make him a toad in a suit.
A toad in a suit, like Mr. Frog.
And his unique move is his tongue.
The worship of Mammon, the New Testament representation and personification of material greed.
Interesting. There's a money. He's holding a bag.
Yeah. Offering to Avis by James Gilray.
Interesting.
Yeah. Is this him? Is it him?
Oh, he's a total goblin.
He's just like a little guy. Money bags?
I got my big old money sacks up here on my little, you know.
What is he sitting on? Like a book? It's like a giant book.
I think it is a book. All right. Okay. We probably have enough. So pirate, magician.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time we start figuring out a moveset,
Okay.
which is really going to be the thing, right? That's
Right.
got to be the whole thing to figure out. I want to move our original image here. Oh no. These are all on different Photoshop layers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's good. Okay. So, let's begin.
Yeah.
I feel we're not super resolved with how buttons are going to look in this game, but of course that's what this episode is for, obviously, right? So what we're doing is we're really sorting out what is your little blind. Do we want to come up with a better name for that?
I'm assuming that was a placeholder. We were kind of just like wanting to come back to like what different terms there are.
Yeah, we oughta. Let's put down the control thing for everything we're going to talk about, right?
Okay.
So that we can kind of refer to it and see not only the way it might feel, but literally where things are.
Right.
I like this space. I like this workspace. I
Mario,
think this is good. I think this is good. Okay. Greed. You talked about how when we have our list of buttons here. Oh no.
Oh no.
We have our little blind. low, high, and big blind.
Right.
Let's begin with that thing where we try to figure out a better name for little blind and big blind.
Okay. Let's go to that part about this video. Make a better name.
This is gonna be. I mean, we really gotta get our feet on the ground with this one.
Slash and heavy slash is good.
Slash.
You know.
What is there? There's. I mean, check and stay. Poker terms. Or stay is it blackjack?
Right.
Check.
It's stay or bust.
Bet and bust.
Bust is when you
Bust.
Bust. This is my bust button.
This is bust move. It's like dust, but not really.
Bust.
Bust could be a good name for the defensive.
Work.
I like bust for the defensive button because not only is it a cheeky reference to dust, but it also works because you're busting.
Right, exactly.
I like that. That's really good.
It is.
Bust.
It's really funny.
We named the buttons we're not trying to name.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny because we call this one the dust button for the longest time, and now we're calling it the bust button.
It's the bust button.
Works, you know.
You know, busting makes me feel good
because it means it's my turn to play the game now because I just parried your stupid move.
Yeah.
I think everyone should feel good doing that.
Yeah. Check. There's something maybe with check.
Yeah.
Check.
It's almost like the quick jab is like checking them, you know. It's like,
and also because a check is also a thing. Deck and check is
deck and check. I deck this kid.
Deck and check is stupid.
It is a little stupid. I like check though.
Split. You can split a deck.
Shuffle.
Deal.
Right.
Interesting. Check and deal.
Right.
Can I look up a list? Just like a raw list.
Right.
Gambling terms.
Or poker terms, or I guess gambling. Oh, here we go.
Wow.
This is exactly what we want.
Ante is a good one.
True.
Edge. You're edging.
We got edge and bust.
Action. It's just called action.
Action. You mean your action button.
The word action is used to describe any live wagering option or the total amount bet on a particular. I mean, action's not bad.
I know
action is really not bad.
Action. There's blind.
Bet.
Cover.
Limits. Above board. Blind.
Right, I was blind.
Bankroll. Bad beat. Odds. Chips. Favorite.
I mean,
accumulator.
Just roll.
Roll?
You know, roll the dice.
Roll's not bad. Against the spread. Count. Action. I like action.
Action's not bad.
Action's, I mean, it's pretty good. It also feels like an action. It's kind of like slash, isn't it?
Right, action. Is that more like you think just like that move on the left, that one?
Right, but is there a version of it for this?
Right, action.
2.
Dumbest thing. Other action.
Other, left, right action.
Also action.
Also action.
Well, go back to, there's more terms. You can do, oh wait, it doesn't give you more.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Hey, Wikipedia, thanks for letting me know what
whole
bookie means.
Beginner's luck, betting pool, bookie. Bet is not bad.
Oh yeah, just bet.
Bet
but also
bad.
We're kind of going with other things with bet.
Check can work, because again, that is a fighting, like, that you check, you can check someone.
Saying. Check. End of the day betting effect. That's one thing.
Okay, these aren't really the kind of thing we're looking for, but they're...
Oscar's grind.
Yeah.
Financial betting.
Sin City wasn't made.
What is this list? Go up. What is this called? Gambling terminology. This is like a really weird list.
Yeah, it's weird.
Muck.
Daily double. Double or nothing. That's the second round.
Handicapping.
That's what happens on the second round. You get the first kill, and it goes players double or nothing.
Daily double.
Asian handicap. Okay.
Wait, I don't know where that term came from.
I don't. I really don't. Ultimate gambling terms and glossary guide. This is gonna be our best friend.
ABC accumulator. Aces.
Action is a casino term across the board. Action.
All in.
Victor. Add on.
All in seems more like a super thing. Or
Yeah,
something.
all in or like a yeah, absolutely. I mean, beat
What?
isn't bad.
BB, bro. No.
Beat isn't bad.
Beat.
Beat is
Right, and you're
really
literally
good.
beating, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like
Beat.
action and beat.
Action and beat are not bad. Beat we could have ABC.
Well, because if we're doing these unique names, are the low and medium are high? It's just gonna be called low and high.
I mean, yeah, we can kind of
you know?
we can take a step back and these can
Right.
be ABCD
right.
again.
That's interesting.
That's
But I mean,
interesting.
it's still right. It's like the four normals:
Mm-hmm.
action, beat.
Action, beat, check, deck. This is stupid. I'm putting them though because that feels baller. That feels awesome. Action, beat, check, deck.
Deck is the overhead. You're like
Right, you're
you're
decking
them,
them.
right? And then check is almost like the low. You're like you're checking like.
But here's the
know.
question: which one goes to which?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, is check the low then?
Because check and deck feel like the slash and heavy slash.
Well, right, but like the high and the low are kind of the ones that are related.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it kind of makes sense for that.
This button could be action. That's stupid. Because how is it going to be ABCD?
right, but also,
Twist is fine. Twist is great.
Mhm. That's what I'm kind of imagining. Deck, check.
DC.
I guess that makes the order kind of weird because it's like A, B, C, D, but
Uh-huh. Action, beat.
beat.
How do we feel about that?
You know,
How do we feel
because
about
does check feel like the low move? It's almost like
that? No, check feels like
You
the
know.
slash.
check. Why?
I don't know. It just does. It's just one of those things. It just feels that way.
You just want check and deck to be related.
Yeah.
Just
Just
think about
'cause
literally like what do you
they're
do when you're like,
stupid.
oh, I'm checking you in a game.
Yeah.
You know, the normal slash doesn't really make sense for that as much as I feel like, you know, you're calling them out on like.
Well, let's
the
take a
low,
step
or-
back. Maybe it doesn't have to be ABCD. Because
Okay,
check also
okay.
feels like it could be a good thing for this here, right?
True.
Instead of bust. But bust is funny because it's a
is
dust
funny.
reference.
Yeah, because it's a dust reference. Right, bust as the. You're busting
But it doesn't
out-
really act like dust, does it?
No, but it doesn't need. We don't
If
have.
anything, one of these other buttons would act like dust.
I guess, but it acts as dust in the sense that it's the non. Well, I guess it really isn't normal at all.
Yeah. Check. That feels even more like the parry move.
You're kind of right.
Yeah, I like that. I'm putting that as check because also it works as push block when you're checking someone.
Right.
Okay, check.
Yes.
We have made no progress.
Well, now if we move bust,
Beat, bust,
beat bust.
bank. I like beat. I like the
Yeah, beat.
beat is really good. Bad beat. Losing a hand that was favored to win.
Do we put it on the B button because Xbox? I'm just kidding. Because we both play on Xbox controllers.
I feel like you're stupid right now.
I know. You want to know a realization I had with Guilty Gear is you know how the buttons are all have
Beard.
certain colors.
Yeah.
I realized that it's literally the PlayStation layout,
Yeah.
and I was like, why are they this? And I was like, oh, the game used to be on
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Beard.
Beginner's luck.
Your luck button. Beat.
Big
bet.
6, big 8, big bet, big bit,
It can't be beat and bet.
big
That's
red.
stupid.
Bingo card,
Bluff.
bluff.
Stupid.
Wait, but that's funny for like
A feint.
our
move.
feint. I
That's
was
that's
about
like
to say
a
like
gunflame
it's
feint.
it's the bluffs.
Cage. A call is not
Ooh,
bad
Right.
to match the current bet.
Call.
Call now sounds like the parry move.
It does kind of, huh?
Which I mean that means we can take check back,
We get that one back now.
and I can even leave it as a C.
Does it though? Call or check? Because I guess you're like calling them out, but then you're also checking them. They're kind of both.
Right.
Kind of both.
Call feels more like it though.
You think?
Dude, I imagine the world where it's like the tutorial, and it's telling you that it's like the parry is called a call, the push block is called a check, and now we've made negative process.
Oh, okay, so
now
that's
we've
the
made
name.
negative progress.
Yeah.
We've
Well,
literally-
that makes sense, and
but
it's the
no.
C. It's C for both of them.
We've named a new thing,
there you
so
go. That's
that's
good.
cool. We did do that.
Card
Call
shark.
and check.
Caribbean stud.
Cap. I feel like beat is the only thing we have so far.
Beat.
Beat.
Deck is a little.
Action
Hold up. You just passed the funniest freaking word ever.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
What is it?
Wait, go back down a little bit.
Casino.
No, go down a little bit. You're
Okay.
gonna freak out when you see
I'm
this.
not gonna freak out.
Chuck-a-luck.
What
I told you. I mean, clear.
Clear, call, color.
Combat.
A beat. I mean, action
Beat's
doesn't feel great. I
No.
gotta say, action does not feel great.
Remember before when you were like, action really has the same vibe as like Slash?
Yeah,
You said that.
I did, but it doesn't really have like how do we assign that to the buttons as we have them? If it's the northmost button is a high, the bottommost button is a low, and then you've kind of got your two have at it buttons.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense? I feel like beat is the only thing we've got for those. Deal,
Yeah.
deal, deuce, dime line.
Dealing out.
Are we complicating this?
Dealing out damage. I mean, this is not really a necessary. I mean, you know, we don't have to name them right now. It'd be cool to give them a name.
It would be. It would be. I'm just worried we're gonna have to cut this out of the video.
Because it's redundant.
If nothing comes of this, this is getting
True.
cut out of the video.
Grind.
Goose, grind, gut shot,
$50.
hand.
What do you think $50 means?
Maybe we just call it. No, ABC is dumb because we have something that's C.
Because we hate Bit Plays Blue. Oh yeah, because we have something.
Okay.
Is that idiot end?
Yeah. Idiot end.
Jacks are better. What do you think that means?
Let's specifically look at like poker terms, maybe.
Okay.
Because I
Yeah,
feel
specialized to poker.
this is gonna be a helpful website for us. In fact, I'm gonna bookmark it.
Yes, this is one of my favorite websites now.
But let's just look at like poker terms and see if we can find anything there. Because we might be back to high, low, little blind, big
Do you think
blind.
we can get Lady Gaga for this?
This is dead air, so I can cut out this joke.
It took you a moment.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
I'm pausing
you
so
went,
I can cut
but
out this joke.
You didn't know, you don't understand it first, and now you're trying to cover that up,
I'm not.
and now you're trying to move on from it.
Ante, beat, check, blank, buy, raise. Raise for the overhead? Is that
That's stupid. But also,
is that a stretch?
raise,
Fish.
pot.
Raise might not be bad. If it's like an anti-air, you know?
Right, but if it's an anti-air, true.
Raise the stakes, baby.
Raise my hand.
Action.
Action.
Button.
Ah, button.
It's just called a button. Oh man, we are in a desert right now. We're in an absolute desert.
I mean, we really don't have to name it right now.
Okay. Yeah,
We
I like that we did solve this thing.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's there. But we still are keeping the convention of
Yeah, we've.
high, low, the two mids.
I mean, not really. Yeah.
Right, but the
I
fast
guess they're
move
just
and
still
the-
little blind, big blind for now.
Yeah, that's fine.
So where do we start? Do we start with low? Do we start with little blind?
Probably
Bunch.
just a quick
punch.
little jab, you know?
But should this guy have a quick little jab? Does he need a quick little jab?
I mean, does almost every character have like their fast, light move, right?
So you think this is like
Generally.
the abare? You spam this to break out of a
Well, right,
untrue
because don't you
combo?
always at least want one move where you're like, I can just like,
Yeah, I know what this
real
does.
fast,
This is the. I've never played this game before.
right? Because I feel like at least for me, every single time I pick up a character the first time, it's like, what's the first move I look at? Is just they're like, really fast
Okay,
little
that's fair.
jab,
That's
light
fair
button,
enough.
you know?
Should we consolidate the idea more to actually figure it out what it is, or just know that it's a mid?
Oh,
like,
you mean you want to kind of understand more like what type of punch is he doing, or kind of like
Ideally, I would get one of those massive sheets where we could like it's all those columns and rows where we could write the button and then do the little stick figure of what it looks
that's
like.
cool. That's cool for sure.
Yeah, we should do that. Oh no. Here comes a Gilligan's cut. Ah, damn it. There it is. Okay, well, here we go. We have our grid to start drawing our moveset in. I just realized something.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't talked about meter.
Right. Which is kind of important.
Yeah.
Because that's like we've had a couple ideas for how to make it unique. We haven't even mentioned our idea of having every character have a unique way to build up meter.
Oh, we haven't even done that.
No.
Well, I mean, we kind of just said it, but yeah, basically, our idea is to make every character build meter in a unique way, so that we can reward them for doing the things they do, but giving meter to them for a specific circumstance.
Right.
Which kind of incentivizes you to... I don't know how I feel about it now, because it incentivizes you to play a character a certain way, rather than to play a character the way you want to play them.
But at the same time, that's like saying, I have to do grabs as a grappler.
No, you're so right. I'm actually so stupid. I'm actually a dumb fucking
As
idiot.
long as it's pretty generalized.
No, I'm actually literally a dumb fucking moron.
And like how Wraths is you have to get hit.
Well,
You're going to have to get hit.
Like, I feel so stupid, actually, that I even said that.
No, because I also had that thought in my mind at some point while we were having that discussion.
Okay, good. That makes me feel like less like a dumb bitch. All right. So, we talked about... This is your, like, universally defensive meter.
Yes.
That one stays that way.
And we've had the idea that it's on a timer, basically.
Yeah, like burst.
Yeah.
Where you just will get it back eventually, and you eventually will be able to use your defensive options. Especially with how aggressive we think this game is going to be.
And now we have a direct button that can utilize that, being the parry, but there could be some combo with the
right.
button
It could be
that
quarter circle forward parry button.
Yeah.
Now you've got something.
Right, exactly.
Or a defensive super or whatever, right? Yeah. And so everyone gains meter in their own special way. Although I think for Greed, I know for Greed, our idea was that he builds meter by doing a fighting game.
His is kind of what you expect from like a Street Fighter Super,
right?
General, where it's like you do the hits. Every hit you
with,
do
of course, the biggest reward is when you do a move that pickpockets your opponent's meter.
Right, exactly. And that's gonna be the pickpocketing could be either his twist unique move or it could be a special move.
Exactly.
You know? I mean that actually does a pretty good job at teaching you what the twist move is. Instead of being like, oh, this is a more special version of it, and look, it's building up your meter.
That will usually be related to my meter.
Right.
So let's begin with our working titles of Little Blind, Big Blind, whatever these are going to be. I also realized another thing. Our concept for this guy isn't super sound. Do you think this is the way we're going to find the entirety of it? Like, do you think figuring out the way this button looks is going to make us figure out what this guy is like?
Are you saying this as in it's not going to, or are you genuinely...
Well, I'm like asking you.
Do you think?
Or do you think we should go back and figure out that stuff before we get to actually putting it on paper?
That's a good point.
Or do you think we should just do it and see how it comes to us?
I think there's a little bit... I kind of think of like Darkstalkers and some of like the animations they have where a lot of the personality comes from like... You know, like think about like Sasquatch's like low little like pokey move that he has, you know. That move operating in that way is because he's like kind of a big like silly guy, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like in some ways you kind of figure out the personality by making the moves, but in other ways some of the moves are kind of directly based on...
I think this is the way we should maybe do it, because I also think of So Bad Guy's his punch, and it tells you so much about his character,
right? That
he's doing this sort of casual stick forward,
right?
Like he's hitting you with a pool cue. All right, I think we do that.
Okay.
And we just kind of hold on to the fact that we know this guy's deal. This little black dot is actually driving me crazy.
It's there forever.
I'm going to fix it. No, it's not.
You can't get rid of it.
I literally can.
It's like baked into your computer.
It's not. See, there, it's gone.
I still see it.
No, you don't.
It's do you not see?
You're lying.
Look.
You're a fibber.
No, it's literally there.
I'm going to pretend it's not real.
Look.
So, standing Little Blind.
Yeah.
For this pirate magician.
You know, it's your... Right.
It's your little short, stubby attack forward.
First of all, does he have any sort of things in his hands?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, does he have a scabbard? Does he have a scimitar?
What is that?
That's a pirate sword. The curved pirate sword.
Oh. Right. Does he have a sword? Does he have a stupid magician wand?
Does he have a sword? Does he have a... Like, I was thinking wand,
is
too.
Is it both?
Is it just that he's he's shuffling cards right in your face?
He has a little wand and it like magically has like a sword comes out or other things.
That's cool. That's baller as hell. I'm so down with that.
You know how they have like flowers come out of it?
Yeah, I'm so legitimately actually it's like for real down. He's sword swallowing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm actually so legitimately down for that.
Mm-hmm.
His
good.
anti-air is like
That's good.
he brandishes the sword upward and then swallows it. See, we're cooking.
Yeah,
We're figuring
exactly.
this guy
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Okay, but for this move,
Right? Does he have his little like wavy wand then? So he kind of like just like flicks it, you know?
that's my thought.
You know, he's like doing like a little quick flick with it.
But I feel like it should have maybe a little more personality.
Okay, yeah, but
Like, is this your card?
oh, that's nice.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's a little, he juts forward.
Oh, he's totally got to have some grab or something with like getting a coin behind your ear or something.
Yeah.
You know.
I can't draw characters' spines. Is this your card?
And he pulls up a different card every time.
Oh no! How are we gonna draw follow-ups?
What do you mean?
That's okay.
Like,
If I
oh, right. If you do.
I did just have the thought. If you hit this move 3 times, is it just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh?
Mhm.
Or is it?
Oh, that's really good.
Uh-huh.
Right.
But you can only do it 3 times.
Right.
Like, how do we feel about that?
The different animation of him.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, does it even need to? God, this is an interesting question.
Yeah.
This is a really interesting question
Mm-hmm.
because is it a 1, 2, 3 and then a thing happens where there's like a little explosion or whatever,
Mhm.
or is it just he's doing this over and over because that's what the animation is?
Well, it's almost like he's flicking the cards and then he like runs out, and so he doesn't continue on. You know?
Mhm.
It's like-
Or is it just is this your card?
oh, it could be that, but then if you follow it up, you like
Mm-hmm.
you keep.
But it feels simpler to just say it's him lunging forward.
Mhm.
Is this your card? Okay, let's just leave it at that. Big blind.
This is a farther reaching move.
Mm-hmm.
If he does have his wand,
Yeah,
You
if
know.
we're thinking a wand, a little magician's
Right.
wand, a sweep out and it's like magic, or maybe it's
you could do something with he's sweeping the wand, and then if you hold the button, something pops out of it. You know,
You're incredible right now.
really.
He sticks out the wand,
Mhm.
and if you hold it, flowers pop out of
Right.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a bunch of thorns and roses pop out of it.
It's really funny the way you reacted to that. I thought you were either gonna say that or be like, "You were the stupidest person I've ever." I was like, about to freak out. Oh, look at him. He's
And then this goes
Mhm.
into this and a bunch of roses all popping out,
right.
like thorny roses. Okay, that's the big line. And yeah, it's a button you can either do just the wand, because this is like a poke, right? Is sticking out the wand,
Mhm.
and this is to extend the poke, but it also works as continuing your combo.
Right. Exactly.
His low. This is interesting.
Yeah.
This is interesting. This is really where we kind of have to
Mm-hmm.
tap dance. Is he tap dancing?
Okay.
Does
what
it
kind of
tap
shoes
dance?
does he have? Right.
Yeah, tap shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a pirate thing?
True. Does he have a peg leg?
Peg leg? Is there something here? Rabbit pull out of a hat? A hole that he makes appear on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Like where can we go from here?
Hmm.
A board that he makes flit up to hit you in the leg? And I mean, what is this low truly for? Does it hit you low?
Right. I think it has to because he's
Standing?
standing low, right? I mean, some quick like pokes, on low,
Oh, that's true.
in
In
like
Street Fighter,
not
yeah.
a sweep, but just kind of like a,
They do hit you low.
like you're doing punches and all of a sudden you do a little kick comes
Mhm.
out.
Okay.
That kind of helps you start combos. Like they're blocking too much up there, you're gonna start a combo by just hitting them real fast.
Yeah,
and
just a
then
swing.
rolling,
So my tap dance. So it's my idea is either the tap dance,
Mhm.
which I think is just a little funny,
Mhm.
or just a regular old. He kicks.
Well,
Like
one of the things
like a proper
Mhm.
kick.
I find a fun idea is like he does a kick, and then just like once the animation ends, this idea that he has cards all up his sleeves and all inside of him, hidden away, that like he kicks and then a bunch of cards fall out. He just has cards falling out, or even just in his punches too. You can do a punch and then cards are just gonna fall out of his hand.
Okay,
You know?
this is interesting.
Not even as like an attack, but just like
no,
as, like, a visual
just the way
thing,
it
you know?
looks. Yeah, I
Right.
get what you mean.
Or like a card slips out and he like tucks it back in or something.
But mechanically,
Mechanically, yeah.
how
It's
is
like,
this
how does-
move work?
It's
Is it just a kick? It's just a kick.
I
He
mean-
just kicks you. He just kicks you.
Mhm.
Is that all we're saying? He just, one leg's here and you just kick.
One of the things I again really liked about Darkstalkers is their facial expressions while they're doing moves,
Yeah.
or just while they're getting hit or something, or like having a character do like a different facial expression for like every move they're doing or something, like instead of him just kind of like same face, just doing the kick, like he's doing the kick and he's doing some kind of like,
Yeah.
some kind of he does like some kind of stance.
I'm not
or
struggling.
something.
I'm not struggling.
He's not.
I'm doing fine. Cool. Kick. There it is.
Mhm.
Just a little old kick. High.
This has to be something with the top hat or something like that. Or
I'm thinking like a good day.
oh yeah, and then there's like something on the top of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. He's showing you the top hat and like a rabbit pops out of it or
Right.
whatever. Or yeah, he's showing you what's on top of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make this flat? Yeah.
Or you could even do it with the thing coming out of the hat again, like a follow up attack, is he pulls the hat on you, and then something pops out of it, and that is what continues the move.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like-
Is this an overhead?
I feel like it is this motion. Well, I guess what's the difference between like an overhead and just like a move that? Because right,
Because this could also be an anti-air. Highs we've talked about could also be your anti-air button.
right,
Is you press this because
Mhm.
when you know they're going to jump at you.
right. And also-
Overheads in games typically they're also usually slower things to occur. Like think of Dust
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and how it takes like a real moment for that to really happen.
A lot of heavy punches in Street Fighter are this literally exact motion.
And when we're talking about a game where the way you move is so important, like in Darkstalkers, people don't really need a button that is a dedicated overhead because a lot of them have a means of just jumping.
You mean jumping
getting
and doing
you.
a move. True.
Yeah. So I think this is like your anti-air.
Anti-air might be more important than an overhead
Yeah,
in this game.
I think so. He's taking the top hat off of his head and swinging it down there, and then maybe you can have something pop out of it, like a rabbit that makes its way out. Is that anything?
So you kind of have the sweeping motion as an anti-air, but then you also have the thing popping out as
Yeah.
an anti-air.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have the swing popping out, but then it's like if you hold it, the follow-up happens where the rabbit leaps out of it.
Right. And it would be fun to have it be like a different object every time. It doesn't have to
That's
necessarily
cute.
change the property.
That's
but
very
it's just like,
funny.
oh, it's a rabbit, and then sometimes you're like, oh, it's a completely different.
Yeah,
random
no,
little
that's
thing that
like
just
I
pops
like
out,
that.
you know?
I like that. Right.
Same with the roses thing with like the.
Yeah.
it brings out, like, a
That
random
reminds me
thing
of
with everything.
like Peacock. She has a move that's pretty similar to that.
Oh really?
Yeah, or actually Dahlia does, where she sticks out some bladed object, and it's a different bladed object every time.
I know Gold Lewis has a taunt where he pulls out something from his coffin. On one of them, he pulls out like a rubber chicken.
Yeah. Okay, I like this. So, thing goes down. I'm trying to figure out the arc of this, because how much airspace does this truly cover?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is this like a true you cannot get in on me when I'm swinging this thing?
That feels like more like what a special move does. Like a normal anti-air.
Yeah, okay, I get you. So swing down. Here's the hat. And then the rabbit can pop out of it. Or the object. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's figure out the crouching versions now. Crouching Little Blind. I mean, it's got to be like another Abare, right?
A what?
Just a fast move you throw out, but this
Yeah.
one's crouching.
Mm-hmm.
My thought is, ooh, he looks at his orb. He looks at an orb.
He has an orb?
He's got an orb.
Okay.
That's nothing. Why does he have an orb? Magicians don't have orbs.
That's like a fortune teller.
Yeah, why would a magician have an orb? Whatever, man. Get off my case.
Yeah, usually these are literally just like
Mm-hmm.
the jab,
right.
the other on a squatting position.
If he's crouching down,
You know.
how's he hitting you?
Mm-hmm.
This is a curious case.
Mm-hmm.
This is a curious case. Maybe is it like a bow?
A bow.
A bow.
So
Is that anything?
Well, then he would have to stand up again, right?
You're right. I mean, what does this guy even look like while he's crouching?
Right. True. What's his crouching stance?
Oh shit!
You
We
know,
need to make
that's
more
true.
for his
That's true.
like idle animations and
True.
shit, in
True.
what he looks like standing and whatnot.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to actually like try to draw
Yeah,
to
you think?
accomplish these, and that means these are gonna take way longer. Because
Mhm.
say if I make this part idle animations, right? I would have to actually try because I would do a full on
right.
like here are
What's
his
his stance,
shoulders.
you know?
He's got like thing here, and he's. I would have to really try.
Right.
Where he's got his hands on his hips or
Mhm.
whatever.
Right.
Oh man, this is
Yeah,
tough.
it
This
is.
is tough. He's got his hat on the back of his head. I mean, I can do this,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is to get better at drawing. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Okay, this can be our idol. So let's actually figure out what he looks like when he's crouching in idle.
Mm-hmm. Right. Is he like
I almost think so. This shouldn't be his idol.
shouldn't?
This is super prideful,
Right. True.
and he's greed.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he should almost be more angled in towards you.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think his line of action should be way more like hunched into you, looking at you, face forward,
Mm-hmm.
seeing what. I have an idea for how this should look. Face forward, top hat, back arched this way, looking at you. His hands are out like this, and they're doing like ooh, they're doing like kind of jazz hands looking things. He's got his cape or trench coat sort of flowing back here, right? It's like, ooh, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You pick up what I'm putting down.
I do.
You're getting me. You feeling me?
No.
You're not?
No.
Why not?
But I'm getting you.
Why not?
I get you.
Do you feel me?
No.
Why not?
I don't feel you.
Yeah, his hands are out, doing little jazz handsy
Okay.
things. He's looking at you. Okay. I think this is good. Crouching. What's he doing while he's crouching? Is he scheming? I just thought of what it is. He's doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost imagine him like I almost feel like I need to stand up and just
Yeah, do it. Show me. Show me
I
what you're
almost
thinking
imagine
about.
him
This is horrible as a
like-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he's scheming.
He has his arms.
Actually,
down
hold that
like this.
pose for me
Yeah.
really quickly.
You know, just
Yeah, his head's forward. I wish you could all see this because it's really great. No, you nailed it right now, right? And his one leg out, arched in. One leg out, arched in. Shoulders. This is great. This is so good. Cool.
And that's why and then his stance is what? His up stance is kind of like
more.
he's leaning in a little bit.
Yeah. And then
What I kind of imagine now is to
crouching-
go with this card thing. It's almost like what if he's like in this stance right here, and then he kind of just like quickly flicks out a card. You know,
yeah, you
as,
think
like,
it's
just,
a
like,
it's a little
quick-
card flip?
like a quick little, not really a projectile, but maybe slightly more range because he's throwing it. But,
Well, I like the idea of it being he's doing.
oh, he's like actually scheming on
yeah,
you.
he's scheming on you. I like that.
Okay.
I like that. He's rubbing his hands together while he's down here. I'm just,
Yeah.
let me cook. His legs are out like this. He's got his arms forward and he's rubbing his palms together. He's scheming it. He schemes right on your legs. And it hits you. And it hurts you. And you're hurt by his scheming ways. Okay. Okay.
No.
I'm going to have to redraw these later, but I will do that.
Okay.
I'll redraw them while we're talking about some other concept like meter or something. Standing big or crouching big blind. This, we've thought about this being the sweep, right?
Oh, true. We do need something as like the sweep, right?
So what are you thinking? Because I'm thinking like a rug pull. You know, like pulling the. But
also
there's like a table. There needs to be a table,
right?
That he's slamming down, and then pulls the tablecloth off of it.
Like,
do you see what I'm saying?
You'd have to set it up then at that point. You have to like put something down and then, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like he does some kind of sweep that knocks them and then pull back and then pulls them towards you.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You know.
But then how does he throw it out like a table?
That's a good question. It could just be like.
And also, he like throws his hat and then sometimes the table just morphs out of the hat, like, you know. Even though it makes no sense for something that big to come out of a hat.
Right, or like, it could be his cape, and his cape just like levitates there like a table.
Oh yeah, he throws out his cape and then pulls it out under you.
This just gave me a really stupid idea that we can't do, but I really like the idea that the table stays. So if you do it, the table's just there, and you can be on the table, the imaginary table. Look, dude.
You're standing on a table?
Yeah.
How high is the table?
I don't know. But you do put down.
Jump onto the table.
You. It's like his cape or something, right? And he takes it off, whips it out, and it's like a magical table. This is so stupid. Magical table.
Yeah. Do you have to jump the table, or can you just walk on it?
No, it can be a rug pull. It can be he sweeps his cape under you and then pulls it away. Because rug pulls are also a thing, and you know.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you didn't see my vision. Okay. I mean, there's the swing out, right? Where this is interesting because this is like a two-part move.
Right.
So how do I illustrate this here without compromising the space? I feel like I'm gonna have to redraw this whole thing later on. That's okay. We're just in the process
For now,
of
just show him kind of like throwing out the
right. Eventually, we'll do our proper podcast episode where I'm just fixing these up.
Yeah.
And we're talking while I'm drawing. Right. So, cape goes out, and then he pulls it in.
Right. And this initial hit would trip you, and then the pull out would kind of bring you forward.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Or you could just do the tripping. Okay. Crouching low. This is a real tough cookie. This is a real tough cookie.
You know what's kind of weird, but I kind of imagine is since it's something maybe still to do with kicks, is he's in this crouching position, and then he kind of leans back, kicks you, but he's kind of like levitating because he's a magician, so he kind of like maybe looks over the camera or something.
That's hilarious.
You know,
that's,
like he just kicks you and he's just floating there for a second. He's
that's
like, "Look,
so great.
I'm in midair as I just kicked you."
That's so good. This is good.
And he can like smirk at the camera or whatever, or strike a pose while he's doing it or something.
Right, his like arms are crossed over. His arms are crossed over as he's levitating. Ooh,
yeah, he's like,
no strings. Like a hula hoop goes through him.
It's funny. It's funny.
He's got like a little mystical, magical energy. Maybe even goes forward a little bit.
Yeah. Lunges forward or something.
Cool. I like that. I love that. Crouching high.
Oh,
should this be the anti-air?
Oh, because you're kind of like down here.
Right, you're preparing.
Right.
Do you think?
It could be. I mean, this move works as crouching.
It does. It really does.
You could still do this from the crouching position.
Yeah, it really could be. Do you want to just make it the same move, or do you want to?
No, then give this one.
Do you want to? Yeah, you want to just change that? In fact, I'll just straight up take this and rip it over. Little small heart attack. Nothing we couldn't fix. Let's just take that and put this here, where he, gets up overhead, right? Because he's already crouching, so
Right.
it's how do you do?
Right.
Okay, and then this, we gotta make something different.
Right.
What do we make?
So
this?
now
Is this more overheady?
Yeah. Now we can have this as the overhead.
Interesting. What
Yeah.
what are some magician routines?
Right.
But we've not had a lot of pirate, have we?
True.
Is there a pirate thing?
But I guess kind of think about like Johnny and where like he's the samurai, and where like his sword obviously has the biggest influence.
Oh no, you're so
you know, and
true.
he has like his car. He doesn't really have cowboys.
No, you're right. They don't
you know?
really need to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have like a cowboy gunslinger.
I think maybe we also ignore the pirate theming.
You know,
A little bit. I think we just throw the pirate theme out the window.
I think the pirate thing can be a little bit more of a subtle thing.
Yeah.
He's more like you look at him and he's more like a magician. Kind of like how you look at Johnny and you hear like cowboy guy and you see a sword, you know.
Mm-hmm,
But like,
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we'll fine tune it.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. But how do we make this overhead?
Right.
What should it be? What should he do? Is this the sword swallowing?
Oh, true. Well, you thought that as the anti-air.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just that the move does hit high.
Mm-hmm.
But is it hitting high as in an overhead,
Mm-hmm.
or is it hitting high? Because we did have the whole Darkstalkers. They don't really need normals to be overheads. So is this just a big space move?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's like you use this in a combo.
Right. Are you thinking for the sword swallow that he just is like bringing up the sword?
Imagine he's pulling the sword out of
he's
his
gonna pull
mouth.
it out. Oh, he's gonna.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's actually looking up here. His top hat's to the back.
How many swords can he pull out?
How many swords can he pull out? And he's taking his big old sword out.
And this would be another funny thing where you could have like he pulls out different swords that are references to different characters.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He
Like a little mini soul bad guy sword.
a little,
you
yeah.
You could have
The little junkyard dog, the swords from The Witcher and whatnot.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good. I like that. Pull out the sword and then what? Swing it?
Right. He's like, or maybe he throws it and it falls, or
Pulls out the sword with this hand and then swings it down
Yeah.
and points it forward.
Mm-hmm.
Points it forward. Whoosh,
Mm-hmm.
and then it becomes his wand. And that's the end of the animation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Into his little wand. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
That works. And I'm just gonna draw this with very light lines so that we remember it's a sword. I can draw a sword.
Boom.
Cool. Okay. Don't tell me. Photoshop just crashed.
No way.
Yeah. It's okay. This is fixable. We just gotta save this
It
file.
just very subtly crashes.
Yeah. We're gonna call it Greed Moveset. We're gonna close out of it, and then we're gonna reopen it. Wherever it may be. Oh shit. It's not. Oh, it'll probably be in downloads, right? It's not. I don't know where it got saved to.
Saving. Whoa.
Right, yeah, let's save this. Got saved in documents. It's probably just at the bottom, I guess. There it is. It's literally there. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, well, I'm gonna need to change that later. Grid's gone.
We have to reapply the grid.
I hope not.
It was 500 pixels. Oh, there we go.
Okay, there we go. Cool.
Okay.
Jumping
Right.
little blind.
Okay.
Jumping little blind.
Mm-hmm.
I have a thought.
Okay.
He just kind of levitates a little bit.
He could have a...
Or like his cape flies out.
And he doesn't move.
Right. Or it's just a whoosh.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Right.
Because this is your body move. This is your cross up. So if he's in the air.
So what, you almost have like a little bit of time while this move is going to move back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
In the air, and then you fall.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
And that does kind of help you cross up then, because you can move.
And then your cape hears. And you're just kind of levitating. Yeah?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay. Jumping big blind.
Mm-hmm.
This is gotta be a big old meaty overhead.
Right.
Something particular's gotta happen
You
here.
could do some kind of spin. This cape.
You can't just say that.
What do you mean?
Do some kind of spin. One little thing I'm worried about.
Mm-hmm.
These moves don't really convey greed, do they?
Okay, we're more on the magician.
Yeah, they're kind of
Well,
just like a magician.
I was kind of
moveset.
thinking most of his greed stuff would come out in special moves.
No, you're so true. Okay, anyway. I didn't do one for grab.
True. Grab is important.
It's okay, I'll write that later.
Cricketers don't have grabs.
I'll write it later.
Yeah.
Jumping big blind. Let's. I'm cool.
Yeah. Pretty.
What are some magician routines?
I'm also just trying to think of how aerial moves work in general. You know, kind of think of.
Yeah, that's a
You know.
good question. Can you combo these together like in Zerd or whatnot? Can you do one to the other into
Or
the
like
other?
in Darkstalker.
Or in
Jump in
air chains
air
and
chains,
Darkstalkers?
Yeah. Right.
Because I feel like you should be able to.
Mm-hmm.
So you can. So
Yeah.
right, if we're thinking of you're going from one button to the other,
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing this for your early hit, the next one for your other hit, and then the last one to finish off,
Mm-hmm.
or right, I guess you'd be doing high as the middle one, and then this is the finishing one.
Mm-hmm.
What does this look like? Let's look at magician stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no, OBS.
Magician.
Magician stuff.
What?
You can buy it online.
That's really funny.
Birdcage. Called. Dude, I told you they have an orb.
We found
Look at the orb.
Yeah, the cups are really, really funny.
Cups are interesting.
How many games have like? Well, I just thought of the Faust mini game that you play on the Super.
Uh-huh. I mean,
You know, we have to eventually do something with him getting like sawed in half. You know how to get like.
I just thought of it. What if it's he's he's doing a you know when you do that shuffle that sends all the cards outward?
Oh yeah.
That.
Okay.
But he's like, "Boom!" Yeah?
And all the cards shoot out.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's like a multi-hit move.
exactly. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what that is or means. No, don't pause on it. No. No, don't do this to me. Could not complete your request because of a program error. Okay.
What does that even mean?
Don't worry about it. And then, yeah, just this wave of cards just flies out at you. Just yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. I had a thought for this,
Mm-hmm.
in that it's kind of like a dive kick. You know Dimitri's
Like
move
actually.
where he's going at that angle at you?
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought for this move.
Okay, so not like it actually like you fall down, but like he's just doing that angle.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And my
kinda
thought
cool.
is it looks like this, but in fact,
Oh.
I kind of, in fact, as a matter of fact, and just don't worry about it. I said, don't worry about it. Oh, it's because I'm not on the right layer.
You can't copy nothing.
Yeah. And then just this. Like this. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Yeah? You feel me?
I think so.
Yeah? Yeah?
Hmm.
Yeah? Okay. This.
Is
Jumping high.
interesting.
Uh-huh.
Because having a high, that's also a jumping move. Because almost every single jumping move is like a low.
Mm-hmm. But I imagine this is the middle of like your air combo.
Right, or you're catching out someone else who's also enduring a jump.
Mm-hmm. And we kind of need one that goes a bit more forward.
Mhm.
Because this one goes down. This one is your body.
Kind of mid, yeah,
This
body.
one also goes down but moves you. Whereas I imagine this one kind of keeps you
Yeah.
where you are.
Mhm.
So this one I feel like should get the space
Right.
before you.
Something up here.
Uh-huh. What can we do there? What can we have? What can happen?
What do magicians do? Pull up.
what else do magicians do? Magician routines.
Mono the Magician? DeviantArt?
No,
Why did you spell that?
I was looking at what you were saying. Image.
Wait, go to this
Okay,
guy.
Google. Show me
Okay,
image.
This is the guy. No. Go down. Go to this. Andy Hiccup. Look at this guy.
Don't make fun of him.
He had not. His last name is Hiccup.
Don't make fun of him.
His last name is Hiccup.
You're cruel. Unjust. What if we just look up raw magician again?
That's what I'm just magician.
Magician. Show lights? Is that something? Making magic appear out of the hat?
True.
Like he holds the hat and magic blasts out of it forward?
There's that image again.
Maybe waving the wand or where, like, really, what do we have here? Hat. Something with the hat, maybe. Because have all of our highs used the hat? No.
That's
Not really.
Right.
But they do kind of have this theme of making something appear out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should follow along with that. Dark Magician Girl, Yu-Gi-Oh!
I know that.
Every magician card Yugi ever used.
Every single one.
Not another card thing. That feels lame.
Something with like the wand.
The
Or like
wand?
he like swipes the wand and something appears. Or,
When I'm thinking about the sound effects, I'm thinking of like old Hanna-Barbera magic. Do you know what I'm talking
No, I
about?
don't, actually.
Oh, I wish I could show you. I can technically, but that's not good for the listener. I like this.
It almost looks like AI, bro.
It does.
Magician vector art.
Making something appear out of nothing while in midair.
Yeah. Some swipe with the wand or like he does like an arch with the wand or something.
Where else do magicians make things come out of?
Behind your ear.
Okay, well, that's a grab idea.
I know, yeah.
So, hey, this guy's actually magic, right?
What do you mean?
Like, we've made these abilities. These are not things a human can do. This is a totally magic individual.
Well, yeah, he can float.
He's got the magic.
He
He's
can
got
also like
magic.
keep a million.
This is
swords
real
inside of
magic.
him, you know.
Which I guess, if you're a magician who can do real magic, the best cover is being a magician.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm the normal guy. I'm like,
No, I'm just a
That kind of magic.
I'm just a
Right.
really good magician.
right, exactly.
I'm just a very good magician. It just looks like magic.
exactly.
I'm just a very, very good magician. Where can we go? Where can we go? Why is this one stumping us so hard?
I know,
It
right?
just needs to be a slightly forward move in the air that makes a thing happen.
Mhm.
Maybe a fireball. Magicians do fireballs. Like he's breathing fire.
Oh yeah, fire breath.
A fire breath.
Yeah.
I like that. Fire breathing forward. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How's he breathing fire?
He like just blows his wand like a lighter, or like
Boom.
Yeah.
Dude, yes, exactly. That's what I was looking for. Thanks for filling that gap in my brain. Yeah, he's top hat. I love that. That's my starting step. It really helps me get this guy.
Should this guy totally just have like a gold tooth also with the pirate thing?
1,000,000%. And then a big burst of flame outward.
Also, should he have a mustache? Should he have like a stupid mustache, or should he have like a small, or like a, should he have a mustache?
That's an interesting question.
I just thought about that.
That's a really interesting question. Anyway, I feel like I shouldn't have put idle all the way over here.
True, we kind of have to think of like a jump animation.
Right, I feel like
there's a lot that goes behind a jump animation. The squat animation.
I feel like I should have put grab here. I'm gonna tuck idle all the way into the corner, and then put grab here.
This is making me realize we definitely have a lot of
Potential.
Well, right, because we haven't even
Scratch the surface.
right of this character,
Yeah.
and it's already this long of an episode.
Yeah, we're already quite a ways in.
Right.
Like this, we might have to split these up.
Right. This is the moveset of our character. And then
Right.
we go more into maybe we both have time to kind of like think of design and like maybe draw some stuff.
That doesn't feel great though. I think we have to get a
Right.
basic idea down because today's episode has been all about figuring out not only the way this game feels, but this character, this starting character. Because we haven't even talked about how he plays into the system mechanics,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We've kind of just been making a basic fighting character moveset, which isn't bad, but we really got to sort things out better. I mean, there's definitely about how all of these have quite a bit of control of the space. And the way these move, the fact that he makes a big, probably disjointed plume of flame, the fact that this is definitely a projectile that appears, that he probably moves fast while doing his levitate. He's got 2 moves where he just sticks out a big hitbox. But I mean, we kind of also have so these are all his normals, though. We did just do that.
Oh, true. This,
Other than his twist ones.
Right, but these are the 4 face button normals.
Let's figure out his call and check because I feel like that'll be easy.
Okay. His counter, his parry.
How am I gonna make one of these the call instead of or rather the check, like the push block instead of the, because it's standing low. Oh no, I guess that exists. Never mind. I'm saying nothing of importance. So what does it look like when he's doing parry? Because my thought is he holds up the cape.
Oh, okay.
And it's like you punch it and he reveals there's like a block of iron behind it.
Yeah, exactly. You
Or
just punch the
there's like a
wall.
cactus on a
Exactly,
table.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that a lot. I make it bigger every single time. There's just like a cape he put out. And then it's revealed to be like a block of solid gold or something on like a table. Okay. The low check. Low check.
So this is the same. Well, no, this isn't a parry. This is the crouching parry.
Oh no, I don't know if it should be punching a block of gold because what happens when you do the parry?
Well, is it?
Do you think it stuns them? Is it a thing that stuns them? Is it an attack? Is it case by case?
Because think about like what you mean. Like normally, what happens when you do a parry is just that
They're slow.
and you're able to do something. You're able to just go out and do something.
Yeah.
Because like I know,
I think for now the idea of it being like a stun, where your character's like, "Oh, I'm hurt," after
because I think
hitting
about
a
like
solid
Street
block
Fighter
of gold.
6 when you perfect parry, it
Yeah.
like goes vroom, like zooms in,
Yeah.
and like everything stops for a second.
So should this just be the same, but for lows? The same idea. He's just crouched.
Yeah, he does a different object. Yeah.
It's different objects because he
Yeah,
crouched and now he's really low to the ground.
I also imagine that anytime like something disappears, there's like a really cartoony like poof.
Yeah.
You know, just like,
Oh, absolutely.
you
And
know?
this is like a cinder block that they just
Yeah.
kicked.
Yeah, exactly. And you can have fun animations where your character is just like
Right.
the other character's freaking out,
And then
pain because they just kicked something.
air check. Just happened to us again.
What?
It just happened to us again.
The crashing.
Yeah.
I like how it just is like just very subtly is like, hey, you crashed.
Yeah, I can't do it anymore. Sorry, guys. I just need a break. This might be a terrible episode.
It's just. I mean, it's just us real. I think as we get more and more involved with this, we realize just how long it takes.
Well, I'm just saying, like, do I need to? Are we gonna have to do this another time, and then I stitch another
Maybe.
recording to this episode?
Maybe because I'm thinking about. It feels like it'd be a lot to unpack right now. To be like, we still need special moves. We haven't even discussed how supers are gonna work when you actually do them. You know, so
Yeah.
this could be a thing that is, you know, multiple days stitched into an episode.
Yeah. I think we might have to. That makes me wonder, how is this gonna be published?
How long of an episode is this? Gonna
Right,
be?
because am I gonna upload a 2-hour video, or am I gonna
Right.
upload bits and pieces?
Mhm. Well, right. Is it like this? We can almost now kind of treat this as like the greed section is almost a multiple part.
Right, Greed Part
Section
1, Greed Part 2, Greed Part
I
3.
think it's okay.
And our intro, we just like record a different intro.
Yeah, I think that's okay because I think this is kind of us realizing that
No, I think that's what we do.
characters are gonna take a long time,
No, absolutely.
and it's gonna have to be like today we're focusing on the basics. Today we're focusing on
Okay.
more in depth on their move. Today we're focusing mostly on visuals.
So I
and
think
their
that's
story.
what we do. I think
Right.
is
So
we go
we finalize his normals.
we re-record the intro.
Yeah.
We say this is mechanics and Greed Part 1,
Yeah.
and we say this is Chapter 1 instead of Episode 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
hmm And this allows us to kind of still upload this
Absolutely.
instead of waiting.
Mhm.
So do we want to finalize?
No,
just
I
these
think
last
our
couple
goal for
things?
tonight is to finish a moveset.
Yeah.
Our goal is to finish a rough draft of a moveset,
Mhm.
and then come back at it later and see what we can do. Because, I mean, we did it. We finished half of the moveset, basically.
Yeah.
The rest is special moves
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Supers.
and figuring out what this is. So let's just think of air check really quickly.
Yeah.
What air check should be. This should be something that's a little
think it-
different.
I think it would be funny if instead, what you're probably hitting on him when he's in the air is like his legs. So it'd almost be funny if like you do a parry and then he like reveals his cape and he's like, I don't have any legs for a second. He's like, no lower body, and then it comes back.
That's pretty good. I was thinking about something like that too.
Yeah.
Because, the magician sawing you in half.
Yeah, exactly.
and
He's like,
something.
look, nothing below my waist. He's
No
like,
legs.
and then it comes back. So he
Right, but
turns and dodges it.
how does that do something to you in the air?
True. Like, how does that? I guess it just makes the other person whiff. But
Mhm.
yeah, right. It's like how they like get stunned from it.
Yeah. Unless it does a different thing.
Right. Instead of
It like spikes you.
right. It's like instead of I don't have legs beneath me. It's like look, I have a freaking a spike or like a cactus or like a or something different on his legs.
Or it could be a different animation entirely that we can work with.
Right.
It doesn't have to be the
Mhm.
cape thing. I do like the cape thing though.
Yeah.
What can we do here? What is this gonna be? I mean, we could follow. Let's assume the cape for now because it helps identify. Okay, all the ones where he's baiting me out are when he holds up his cape.
Mhm.
I understand that, so maybe we should follow that line.
Yeah.
So if he's holding out the cape in front of himself and you hit him in the air, what happens?
Mhm.
What's going on that makes it like, oh no? Like, what could this be? You smack him in the air, you try to anti-air him while he's up there,
Mhm.
and it's revealed that I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. He's holding a mirror.
You break the mirror.
It's a mirror that you break.
That would be like a reflect or something.
Well, I'm also thinking if you reflect a projectile, it's a mirror.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's what the mirror would do.
Yeah. But what is it when you hit him in the air? What is it when you hit him in the air?
This is kind of make you think of like every single like character in a game. And you're just like, man, how long
Yeah,
did it
you're
take
going
them?
over
How do they design
every single character in a
Darkstalkers
fighting
character,
game.
You know,
How do they do that?
like holy.
I mean, to be fair, they weren't starting from scratch quite as much as we were.
Well, true.
But I mean, we do have a really strong idea with he's a magician.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which helps a lot.
what do magicians do when they levitate?
They levitate.
Yeah. I just had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
There's wires.
Like he's. What do you mean?
You hit him, and the reason you get stunned is because you're suddenly now tangled in a bunch of wires that he's levitating with, right?
Okay.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing.
If you want the cape to also be incorporated.
That's nothing. It could just be that he does that when you hit him. He teleports and does something to you.
Parry?
Yeah.
He teleports away.
Right, because
Or he poofs back on the ground and then.
he swaps places with you.
And then he combos you out of the air.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. Okay, I'm going to draw that. See, this is what I should have done, is to draw them smaller so I can show different stages of a thing occurring. Cape. You hit him. There's a poof here, a poof there. And now suddenly, you've swapped places. Ta-da! And now he air combos you.
Yeah, he gets the air combo. And especially, that gets him out of the corner. He might flip you into the corner.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, dude, imagine.
Which makes it crazy.
If it swaps sides, maybe you can choose which side, but no, because he has to swap with you.
Yeah.
But,
That's
okay.
a corner switch one.
Yeah, if he jumps in the corner and he's expecting you to do like a move, an anti-air, now you're in the corner and he's about to break you open. Okay, I like that. Cool. Grabs, I feel like in the next, because this is going to be the real boss today.
True. Yeah. I've never even gotten to special moves.
No, but special moves feels like a part 2 thing.
Okay, good. Specials and supers are a part 2 thing.
Yeah, we just need all of our normals here.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, grab. So we had this idea of like something with his grab being unique, but is that something we kind of come back to later?
Yeah, I think for now we just figure
the
out the
animation of his grab. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, he grabs you.
Trying to think of magician tools again. You know.
Like, yeah. Does he tap you? Turns you into a thing?
That's funny.
Does he?
Oh,
just reach behind your ear, pull out a pistol, and
like
shoot
we
you
were
in the
saying,
head?
like he pulls a thing out behind your ear, or it's like a bomb or something, and it just blows up in front of you.
Yeah,
you know, he's like
exactly
stick a dynamite, and then you just blow up.
That's
you know?
I like this Looney Tunes vibe we've got going. Do you also feel
the
Looney Tunes we've got?
Because of the block,
and especially
of,
with
like,
me thinking of like that
whatever.
Hanna-Barbera magician, like
what are the noises? Can you do a couple of them?
They're not gonna sound anything like them.
Is it just like? Okay. That's funny.
It's gonna sound great.
Or just like,
all right.
It's funny, like
air grabs. Are they real?
So yeah, in Guilty Gear, every character has an air grab.
Yeah.
Street Fighter, some characters have an air grab.
You think this is one of those deals? Because that's also Darkstalkers too. Only some characters have an air grab.
Well, it kind of fits with our theme also. Like only some characters have a dash in their and movement options are limited.
I mean, does this really feel like a character that should have an air grab?
I mean, he's kind of floaty.
Yeah,
you know.
I feel like he should have most of the tools he needs to.
Right.
We didn't even figure out what this guy's dash looks like.
True.
Damn it! That's another thing I need to add.
His could just be a poof. Almost like a mini teleport forward.
Right. My thought is it's like Slayer's like so it's a teleport dash. Right. So we've kind of made like a Dimitri.
True. Yeah. But this is just a standard grab, which we're saying the thing behind
reaching
the ear.
forward, and he pulls out a stick of dynamite behind your ear.
And you're like, what? And it would be funny if like, the black smoke effect goes on his face or whatever, and he just has like
I've drawn this horrible. Holding the stick of dynamite in front of your face.
Yeah. And then
I haven't drawn another guy for any of these. Why did I start now? I haven't drawn another guy for any of these.
Well, a grab makes sense because you're literally like
That's
you can't
true.
just whiff them for them to happen. You have to actually be on the person.
Okay. I've drawn this pretty bad. I've messed up the way this should look.
And
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning, okay? I'm learning. I'm being better. I'm learning. This is part of the process.
I think what will also help him feel more like Greed is once we kind of have more of his, because right now you can kind of imagine him as just like a cheesy like magician, but once we kind of have this more like
Well, I think
more like,
he does feel
you know,
cheesy, especially when I'm imagining these Hanna-Barbera magic sounds. He feels like a cheap act, right?
Right. But then we might be able to also
Or no, maybe this
incorporate,
is a
like,
card first, and then he flips it, and it becomes the item.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Is this your card? But then he flips it, and it becomes the dynamite.
and then it blows up.
We won't forget that, right?
No.
I'm gonna draw the card here just to be sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa!
We're gonna come back next week. and we're gonna be
A bomb! We're gonna be like, yeah, what the fuck?
right,
did I
and then
draw?
the character gets like completely knocked back, and then he just has like,
Okay, air grab, YN.
oh. I was thinking of like, which buttons should you have to push to do a grab? I was like, Y and N. Okay, first of all, can this please just be the Street Fighter input to grab? Because that's my favorite input for grab.
You're ridiculous. Okay.
I also just think, if you think about like where Guilty Gear has like dust and stuff, we've obviously done a different thing for dust, so we kind of just need a 2-button combo to be grabbed instead of just a button, you know?
Yeah.
So it kind of does make sense.
No,
for
yeah,
just
no,
like
I'm okay with it. I just think
grab.
it's funny that you were
Yeah.
like, please,
Well,
please.
I know, because it's like every time I go in a game and that's the grab input, I'm like, yes, I love this grab
Yeah,
input.
you played
know?
Skullgirls and you were like,
Yeah, I
yes,
was like,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
I remember trying that out.
Okay, air grab. I'm imagining he levitates you and then dunks you magically. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like he manipulates a hula hoop.
Oh, he puts like a there's like the magic aura around you, like he like kind of traps you in like a bubble or something,
Right.
and then just you get like
Yeah.
pushed down.
I like the hula hoop though, because magicians use that to show you,
okay.
look, no wires.
Oh, so
How am I doing it if there's no wires?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I like that idea.
He's also a professional hula hooper.
Where he dunks you. I don't know how to draw this.
Oh, true.
Is
Just
that-
draw a ring around someone. Or
Yeah.
you just throw you through the hoop, or like
Yeah, I imagine he levitates you, then dunks you
and
through
like
the hoop.
a magic like a hula hoop appears, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the hula hoop the guy's getting dunked down into. And he's doing those jazzy hands. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Ooh, magic! He's doing magic. Cool. So here's the real behemoth. Is where
Right.
yeah. This
So-
is where we need to figure these out before we end part
Right.
1 of this chapter here.
I guess there is no crouching grab in most games.
Should we do dash really quickly?
Oh, true. Dashing, his running animation.
Yeah. Air dash? No air dash? Double jump?
Well,
What are
true.
you thinking for that?
Because we're kind of thinking of like how he like poofs
Yeah.
direction,
Mhm.
you know?
Does he have an air dash in the air where he levitates forward, or does he have a double jump or does he have a super jump?
Right.
Because if we're doing full Darkstalkers, he can have any movement tool we want him to.
Right. I was almost thinking he can kind of poof in like,
Just poof in
Four
the air,
directions.
omnidirectionally.
you know, like he can either almost like a double jump, so it kind of shows you like the tool of a double jump, where he can kind of like poof up, but he can also poof down, poof left, right. You know,
That's crazy baller.
he can poof directions.
But
he can
it-
also do diagonal.
Like he definitely like takes a whole moment to be like, I'm
Right.
here.
It's like, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that way, it's kind of less as a, because he's not rushed down, obviously, so he's not going to be like teleporting up in your face and like going crazy on you, but it's more just like to
Mhm.
give you ways to move around the stage.
Mhm.
You know.
Oh, I'm over here now. And then he does his, like, wah!
Yeah, he's like,
Ta-da! I'm imagining a lot of ta-das from this
I
guy.
imagine him grinning at the camera a lot. Too.
Yeah, a lot of
He's
sleazy
like,
looks at
you
the
know.
camera. And the same thing here
For a grounded one.
for the aerial one.
I guess it probably could be. Right.
Okay, you said you could do it all directions too, so.
Yeah. If you want to get crazy, it could be diagonal too.
Diagonal's baller, is it not? Don't you feel like Diagonal's
I feel
baller?
like it is. I mean, does this also kind of work as like, you know, he's the beginner character and he's kind of teaching you about movement in general, where it's like he just kind of
he's
can go
able.
around,
he can
you
be
know?
anywhere on the stage he wants to be at any time.
And it's obviously not going to be as fast of a dash as others, you know. Obviously, and he's going to have delay after he teleports.
Because he goes ta-da!
Right. So whereas like a rushdown character would want like a super fast forward dash that they could act aggressively out of, whereas this is more at just a movement tool.
Right, and again, it's risk reward because you are able to move, but you go ta-da every time, which is hilarious. Okay.
And then obviously we can also end up having other characters that have more like a Guilty Gear dash where they just run.
Just run at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fucking run at you.
I think those are really fun.
Are these gonna make any sense to us in part 2?
I imagine like we come back a week and we're like, wait, is he like doing like a?
Well, it's all on recording, so.
Well, I mean that's true.
I guess it depends on how much I cut out.
I think we'll be fine though.
Yeah, as long as I don't cut out anything too
Yeah.
important. We didn't figure out what the air looks like, but I just,
I mean, yeah.
he's just in the air. I just imagine he's
Right.
He's like a 2.
He could be a little. No.
Let me give you my vision for
We
this.
want him to be floaty, like with his cape, because he's like a.
Let me give you my vision for
It's
this.
also like a weird character.
He's like this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of the cape.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. Cool. Time for this, motherfucker. What? So the thing is, we don't know what this button means yet.
Right.
And this is where we have to figure out what this button means.
So we're kind of thinking like, every character is gonna have some form of unique mechanic. Where like building their meter.
But this is also
or
going to act like a normal too.
Right. So it's kind of like it's a normal that has special properties.
I forgot. No, I didn't. We're cool. Everything's okay.
Okay. So if you have this idea, for example, of like a pickpocketing thing, you could have it be like this normal is stronger the more you've accumulated.
Oh no, absolutely.
Thing, you
the
know?
neutral version of it. Oh shoot. How does this work? Is this gonna act like a normal in that it also has a standing, crouching, and jumping version
That's
of
what
it?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, no, I absolutely like it. This move uses resource.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
It uses resource, and it gets stronger the more as you're using the resource.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Right.
that. I like that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So do we know what this is even gonna be?
You mean in terms of like what he's doing?
Yeah.
This kind of feels like it's gonna be more related to when we decide his like special moves.
Magic
You know?
punch.
Yeah. Do you think it would be easier to do this once we know his like special moves?
Maybe, but I also feel like we're just stalling because we're afraid to figure it out.
True. Right.
Because this is where the game really begins for us.
Right.
I mean, let's take a step back, maybe.
Yeah.
And let's look at his moveset as a whole, because we kind of have the major ideas of a Shoto here. Mid-range poke, basic low kick, basic easy punch, good anti-air tool, big aerial move, movement, cross-up tool, abare tool. So we have a Shoto here, really. Right?
with normals, yeah.
With normals. And this is where we separate him from Ryu. This is where he goes from hucking Hadokens and doing
Mm-hmm.
Shoryukens to being something unique.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting because I feel like is this going to use meter? Is this going
Right.
to use a resource only he has?
Mhm.
Is this going to like what is this going to do?
Kind of think of like how is this gonna work like on a character to character basis? in terms
Exactly.
of, like,
Is Twist going to use meter for everyone? Or is it just
Right.
he that uses meter because he can get it in so many ways?
right, or it's like
Because this guy, we've said he gains meter for literally everything he does.
right he
For just throwing out moves, he's getting meter.
right. But do we want every single character to have their twist move use meter?
Right.
Do we want?
I feel like it can be that only he uses meter with his twist move if he's getting it so liberally,
Mhm.
you know? And if he's getting it in such massive amounts, it just means we need to make sure his supers and install state are regulated.
Right. Well, then I'm kind of thinking of like how is this gonna work for other characters then?
Right.
Where it doesn't use meter, what's the alternative then?
Right, but that
Yeah.
I think that'll come to it when it does. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? I'm saying
Yeah.
that's something. This is going to be the big question, character by character, of how do we make this move work for them. So far, we have the idea that this guy is a liberal meter user. He's a liberal. Period.
That's confirmed.
He is a
Half
liberal,
the cast is a
which
li-
doesn't
they're
make
liberal.
sense because he's pretty pro-capitalism.
Yeah, so he's definitely not.
No, he's not a liberal.
He's not at all. He's a sleazy capitalist.
He is a sleazy capitalist. So I feel like these moves should expand meter in some way, and that's
Okay.
the risk versus the reward.
So, right, we kind of have this twist move be not necessarily that they're right. It's kind of unique per character where it's not the same. Like it's like, oh, this character it uses meter. This character it doesn't necessarily use meter, but it has
a
this
different
other
utility,
unique
right? When you
part
do the
about it.
neutral version of it, it like switches a thing about you, or when you do the neutral version of it, it actually
Mhm.
changes your stance. Or
Right, we could think like, oh, we were thinking of like if there was a puppet character, that's how you would control the puppet. If we're thinking like a zoner, it could affect like if you set up things, how it would influence those
Mhm.
things. Like you could like send them out, or like
Yeah.
a grappler, it could be like maybe it changes something, it does something with your grabs, or like you can use it during grabs, or you can like
I definitely
or
think
it's a
come
state
next
change.
time too, this is gonna look a lot different. This entire sheet is probably gonna look pretty different
Mm-hmm.
as we really figure out everything that needs to. Well, no, we have a lot of space.
Mhm.
As we figure out everything that needs to go on here, because we need to think about special move inputs
Yeah,
and
exactly.
how they're gonna operate when you do like, because we don't have a light, medium, heavy anymore. So there's no light, medium, or heavy versions of moves, but we do have low versions of moves, high versions of
Oh,
moves.
that's true. Right.
Isn't that something?
Right, think about like a projectile, the variations that would be like, oh, now he shoots it lower, or he shoots it higher.
Yeah,
or he
and
shoots-
I mean the fact that you have a low from standing
Mhm.
or an overhead from standing potentially
Mhm.
means this game does kind of have the easiest mixing in the world, in that you just gotta guess which button's coming up
Mhm.
or parry low.
Right.
Maybe parry shouldn't be low then. If
Shouldn't be able
it
to
is
carry low at
such
all.
right, if mix up is so easy in this game, if it's literally you press the button and you're there having to guess which button you're gonna press.
Does that mean you should be able to parry? It's more like third strike parry again.
Well, no,
Or you-
because I actually did just realize we could just make these overhead moves take a moment, right?
Mhm.
The pulling out of the sword and the slash could be like that's
Right.
enough time for you to see that and visually respond to it. But this is a fast low. This is a fast low.
Mhm.
So I think it's fine. I think it is fine. As long as these moves happen in a way that makes sense and are
Mhm.
balanced. Okay, I think it's fine. I think we're cool. I think we're okay. Just what do we do?
So other thing I'm thinking about is if we're having like EX moves that like use meter for the
Mhm.
special move, how is those going to be differentiated by these normal? These,
That's
like,
true.
Twist moves that are going to
No,
use
that's
meter,
so
you know?
true. That's absolutely true.
Mhm.
Oh man, you're right. How do we make EX moves in this sense?
Right. I'm not this whole twist thing. I'm not thinking it necessarily even needs to like use meter.
No,
It's just
yeah.
moves that operate in a non-traditional way.
Yeah.
You know,
It's just no, really it is.
like it could be something with he's doing something with his wand and then he like controls a thing or something. you know?
Absolutely.
Like
But then that's got to be a broader discussion about how this guy operates as a whole.
Yeah.
What is his goal? What does he want? Does he want to get knocked down? Or is this a Guilty Gear situation
Well,
where technically everyone is rushed down? Because we've talked about this is an aggressive game.
Mm-hmm.
And in Guilty Gear, everyone wants to get on you and eventually play mix up, right?
Yeah.
So is this what this guy is? It's all about managing this space and making risky moves for big rewards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
And so are these gonna be the risky? These should be the risky moves with big rewards, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because this is all boilerplate Shoto, but with some stuff here and there. His very fast lows, the way he can manipulate himself in the air, the way he has his teleport dash as well. It really makes me think we should identify what this guy ultimately wants, which I think, a la Mr. Bad Guy, is to play strike throw. Yeah? I think that's what we do. Is this guy wants to play strike throw with you. Is that his command grab, like Wild Throw in Zerd, is a key comboing tool. Well, not necessarily comboing, but a resource tool, right? So this guy is constantly trying to make you guess whether he's going to pop in your face and grab you.
Right.
Or if he's going to try to hit you with more moves for a decent combo. So how do we work with this? We just have to think of a standing, a crouching, and a jumping.
So you're kind of proposing this thing of like with like strike through mix up, we were trying to predict like what he's going to do. And since he's a magician and he's like,
well, it's more so I think to circle back to the concept of greed. These should be high risk, high reward moves. That's what these are.
He gets greedy.
This is when he gets greedy. These are the moves. My initial thought is that he showboats and then does a big move, but that doesn't super feel like greed, but it does feel like magicianry.
Right. These could be something of like he.
Oh no, he can totally showboat.
What do you mean?
Because he's hogging the spotlight.
So he does what?
He showboats.
Which means.
So imagine, for example, think of Cliff's big move in Accent Core. Think of these are moves like that, where it's massive risk, massive reward. You are doing something where he like turns to the audience and does a thing to prepare for a move that's about to come out. The risk, obviously, is that you're making this big move clearly about to happen, and the reward is if you land that move.
You can kind of imagine this on strike throw too. Is like you knock down your opponent and then you kind of start prepping this thing, and you kind of have to guess whether you're actually going to finish doing it or whether you're going to stop doing it. And then and
it kind of plays to the idea of a magician. A magician makes you guess what the trick is gonna. Literally, what's the trick gonna be?
Exactly.
What's the trick? That's really strong. Now, how do we make a fucking move out of it?
Right.
What do we do? My thought is you enter like a pose. And then you follow up somehow. Yeah?
I think the important thing when designing these moves is how to make sure that we don't make it just like a special move.
Yeah.
We don't make it like, oh, this could have just been like a core circle forward in the thing.
Yeah.
We want to make it so like, what makes this like
a normal?
Right. It's like a unique normal in the sense that it still kind of operates like a normal.
Right, but how do we do that here? Here? Is it that it's a normal you can hold? It's like you charge the normal. There's the risk and reward. Showboating as you're charging it, and then release. Big, powerful move that just happened. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Well.
And then during the charge, he can cancel it and do something else instead.
Yeah.
Which is where it plays into like the guessing of what he's going to do.
Right. He can teleport out of it.
Right. Is he going to actually charge for it, or is he going to just teleport and then cross it?
Teleport right in your face as you're jumping at him, and now he's under you or whatever. Or he cancels it with his parry.
Right. So then it basically it's these are like normals, but they have really long charge time.
Basically, right? Yeah. It's almost and this again. This now makes him like Soul Bad Guy in the way that Soul Bad Guy is this bully who's throwing out these big moves like Fafnir. I think of, Fafnir.
No.
that move where he rushes forward with a fiery fist, and if it hits you on block, you're guard crushed.
Yeah.
Or if he hits you, it's a huge reward when he
Right.
does.
Mhm.
Like that's what this move makes me think
Yeah.
of. That's what this
For
makes
sure.
me think of.
Mhm.
Okay, so some form of charge and then strike.
Right, I can see him kind of like prepping, like to the audience, or like he's like about to pull something out of his hat. Or
Right.
like,
My
he's
thought
about
is
to, like,
he's like holding
you
the
know.
stick. He's woo, and then boom, he makes a thing appear.
Yeah,
Now, what does he make appear?
something big, right?
Yeah. 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 A bomb. A stick of dynamite. What does he make appear? A different thing. It's just something that produces a hitbox.
It could be something like instead of him actually pointing it at them, he's kind of pointing it the other way, and then it just causes like a giant explosion, pushes him forward. You know, so he's just kind of waving it around, ready for something to happen, and then because kind of like Soul Bad Guys, like, you know, he rushes forward and
Mhm.
hits you. This is like a big thing he does that propels him forward.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Something like that.
Right. My absolute thought is while this is happening, there's like a little drum roll and just, and then he does the move. Because I imagine this is we haven't even thought of command normals.
True.
We've not thought of them.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten them at all.
We haven't thought of them at all.
The way that I kind of see them happening is we're designing the special moves, and then we kind of think of like another normal, and then we kind of just throw it in because like not everyone has every single command normal. We're just kind of like, oh, this character has a forward punch option or whatever, you know,
Right.
Like-
The only universal command normal in Guilty Gear is your anti-air.
which is
6P.
everyone has that.
Everyone has that. Everyone has that as a universal
Okay,
upper body invincibility.
but
anti-air.
then all the other ones, not everyone has.
no,
a
all the
6K.
other ones are just random.
Right, and so
for
that's why I'm kind of
people.
thinking like those kind of seem like ones that we kind of come back to. 'cause
Do we
we're
have
like,
a
oh,
universal one? Because
we
I don't
want-
feel like we really need a universal.
No, not necessarily.
Because this is kind of your anti-air.
Right.
Right.
I feel like
Does
it's-
this have invincibility?
like on startup.
Yeah. Does it or upper body invincibility rather?
Or if it's gonna be an anti-air.
Yeah.
If that's how we end up feeling like anti-airs should work.
Uh-huh.
They just have that.
Well, usually anti-airs have upper body invincibility.
Mhm.
But also because, like, I also think in Guilty Gear, if somebody throws a fireball at you, you can 6P through it because your upper body is invincible.
Oh, really?
So I think you could use this move the same way. You know?
Uh-huh. Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
What I'm really struggling to is to just kind of really imagine this like unique move, but not being a special move. You know, like I'm trying to think of specific things that we're thinking of that I'm not like, oh, that could just be a special move.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we have an idea so far. My idea is
Yeah, of just
he's
a long charge
preparing to
time.
make a thing happen, and then poof, a thing happens.
But it still is kind of acting like a normal.
Right, it's just acting like a normal. You can charge, or you can press it for a weak version of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let's think about that. What happens when you do just tap it?
I was gonna say,
Instead of
what if
charging
you
it.
tap it and then the kind of like the drum roll starts and then it kind of fades away?
Yeah.
You know, so it's almost like he starts to do it and then he doesn't, and then when he holds it, it kind of goes for longer,
Mhm.
and then that's when the move
Exactly,
actually
yeah.
happens. So
well,
he can
yeah,
kind of like
it does the tumble and it goes pow or
right,
whatever.
and then that's when it actually happens.
But what happens? Okay, let's just What happens when you don't do it? What happens when you don't charge?
You just tap it.
Yeah,
I'm literally thinking like it just drum rolls and then it just goes away. So it's almost just like
a feint.
yeah.
You think
Like,
it's a
almost
fake
like
out?
he does it and then he doesn't do it. You know.
You think it's a fake out?
Mhm.
I like that.
Like he keeps doing it until finally he gets greedy and risks it and then actually does the move. You know?
That's hilarious. You're
You
just
know? So
edging.
he's just kind of like
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
It's-
gonna do
it's
it.
literally like,
I'm
drum.
gonna do it. That's hilarious.
And then he finally gets to it, and it's like a big snap moment. And he finally does
That
it,
is
you know?
hilarious. I'm gonna draw him really silly in this one. I'm gonna just have the big old cape as he's facing the audience directly, like,
Yeah, he's literally like,
oh, am I gonna do it? Am I gonna do it? Am I gonna do it? That's hilarious.
So yeah, then this kind of does feel like a normal because once you actually do the move, it is a normal, but it has this unique property where you kind of just can kind of like keep
You
tapping
can
it,
pretend it's gonna
you know?
happen, and
Yeah.
they're scared of it happening.
Yeah, exactly. And then
They're-
you finally, it's like
They're gonna
my
be
big
so
meaty
afraid
punch.
of it ever
Yeah.
coming out. When am I gonna do it? When am I gonna do it? And okay, what happens when you do it then?
Something just, you know, big thing happens.
What happens?
You know, does he shoot?
Shoot the laser as it.
Yeah. Or
What
does
happens?
he just like a big explosion or just like
He just makes you explode. He just literally makes you blow up.
Or he literally blows up.
He blows up.
But he doesn't take any damage. He's like...
Well, I kind of have had this thought the entire time of now you see me, now you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Where he becomes invisible, then a thing
okay.
happens, right? And that's when you know the move has occurred. But if I like that. This is the risk and reward, is the entire time he's preparing. And if he gets it off, now you don't see him and he's invincible and the move is going to happen, right? But the entire time he's risking, am I going to do it? 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 Now you see me, now you don't, and then you blow up.
I kind of see this actually, the advantage of this being a normal is you couldn't really do this as a special move because you would have to constantly be doing
an input.
You have to be constantly doing core circle forwards.
Yeah, exactly.
But
this does work as a normal. Yeah, exactly. It's just one that's really funny and also a taunt. It's
you can kind of use it as a taunt.
It's literally a taunt you're doing. Where you go
like imagine you're knocked down in the corner and then he just kind of runs up to you and he just goes like
just a little,
and then that's happened multiple times and then finally on like the third time that happened he's like
I'm gonna do it. I really like that. I really like that. So then he poofs, he disappears, and then what happens when he reappears?
Does he just come from a direction?
My thought is he just like
behind the opponent,
right? He drops down onto you from like a stage light.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. Or he appears from the background. Or
Magician punch.
Or he appears behind the opponent, like
he's in the audience. he like appears here and then just waves a wand at you and you explode.
He goes in the background. That's crazy.
This is ridiculous.
That is crazy.
What happens when this occurs?
Right.
What happens? Mm-hmm. He puffs away for just a moment, and then an explosion happens directly on top of you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could literally be like he poofs away, an explosion happens, and then as the explosion fades away, he's there again.
See, the balancing this being a special move is so tough because I did just think about like he can choose which side or where he appears
that
from.
Too, but I was like, that feels more like a special move thing.
No, I think it works. If when this happens, he then poofs with a giant explosion, right? Like there's like a huge explosion and puff of smoke, and then he can reappear wherever he wants around you, right? There's just a moment where he's invisible, and now he can appear wherever he wants around you. That's cool, kind of. Is that stupid?
Well, it can kind of be. It can kind of work as a command normal. Where it's just like, well, if you do it and forward, you appear behind them. If you do it and backwards, you just gonna appear, in front of them.
Oh shoot, that's true.
Or you do the command, or you do it while crouching, or that if you do all crouching, you appear like right on top of them or above them or something.
And then you can appear anywhere.
Right, you just hold it and. It's essentially like a command normal then. You're either holding it backwards or you're holding it forwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you just you hold it the direction you want to appear on them.
Well, right, because while you're holding it, you can't move, so you can hold any direction.
Mm-hmm. Right, and so when the explosion happens, there's the big puff of smoke,
and then the way you'd cancel it is just letting go of the button. So while you're holding it, you can just pick any direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would even be funnier if the opponent can see which direction you're holding, so you kind of like keep shuffling between directions.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like he like moves his hand or like
he looks in the direction. Or something. Oh, that's good. That's good.
So they're like,
oh no,
am I gonna go left, right, left,
there's
right,
a
left,
spotlight
right?
that's rotating around him, so you can like just churn butter on the spotlight.
Yeah, and like, what am I gonna do?
Where am I gonna be?
Or you can go left, right. Left, right, left. Like you can just like keep baiting them out.
That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, the spotlight appears on him, and it moves subtly in the direction he's gonna be.
Yeah,
that's really good. That's very, very funny. I like that it is kind of a taunt too. What's the jumping one do?
I mean, this could just be this in the air. You're just doing it as you're falling. I mean, you could do a different pose or something, but I feel like unless you want this to be a completely different thing in the air.
Should it be?
Like,
I like the idea of it being the same thing in the air.
Like, do we want this button to kind of just be like, this is their unique little thing, and so it's like, it's just the same in the air, it doesn't necessarily need to be a bunch of different things.
Do that. Should the crouching version be any different?
Well, it's kind of like when you're holding down to do one of the directions anyway.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, we could do this, if we end up coming back later and we kind of rework this, the way the twist button works.
Well, but that's a moveset.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And you know what? This actually does make sense to be called twist, because it's almost like...
Yeah.
I don't know, it just makes sense, for it to be like... It's like, or like even like Trick. He's doing like a trick, you know.
Trick is way better than Twist. Trick
Trick
is
button.
so much better than Twist.
It's each character has unique tricks, their own tricks up their sleeve.
Trick is so much better than Twist. It's actually so well. Twist was a placeholder name. We'll find the casino term name. Well, so this is the start of a moveset.
Wow.
Next time is special moves for this guy, and of course, figuring out
Right.
meter. That's going to be a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, the unique meter, then your defensive meter,
Right.
and then the broader gameplay implications and mechanics of that. Because, like, how are EX moves going to work?
Exactly.
Because so far, it kind of sounds like you can only have two different versions of a special move, where you do the little blind or big blind version of it, or the low or the high version of it.
Well, right. Well, that to me kind of sounds like it's almost like where we're like, oh, there's like a slow or fast fireball. It's like, oh, the light blind is slow fireball. The big blind is like the faster fireball. But then it's also like, what if you angle your fireball, doing it with high instead or something? You know.
You are so fucking right.
You know.
Oh my god, you're so if it's
know?
a fireball, slow fireball, up fireball, fast fireball, bouncing fireball.
Right, exactly.
You're so correct.
Which is crazy because now we have 4 variations of
I'm so glad
moves
that's on
or something,
recording actually.
Yeah?
That's insane.
I think that's good.
Yeah, and then fireball that actually comes from behind for the twist one.
That's funny, dude. Oh, we could have twist specials too. I didn't even think about that.
This is good.
Wow.
Not only can you have twist specials, you can have check specials, or rather call specials.
Oh, right, because we were saying
I never did the check animation. I never demonstrated
well,
how
it's kind of
check
his
looks.
block animation too that we didn't do, but that's okay. But right, because we were saying how like your burst option could be core circle forward with the check,
Mhm.
you know, but you could also have someone do core circle back with the check. You know, what's crazy is you think about like where most of the like normals definitely give you a lot of personality with the character, but usually the special moves are even then the bulk of their.
No,
so it's
truly
crazy
they
that we
are.
have this much going on with just the normals.
Oh,
And we haven't even
absolute-
dug into the
I
special
mean,
moves yet, you know?
This is definitely gonna be a talk for next time. The next part.
Mm-hmm.
How many special moves is a character gonna have?
Right.
Truly.
I mean, obviously it varies per character.
Yeah, I think next time, because Zerd, Darkstalkers, and Skullgirls feel like one of our major inspirations,
Yeah.
we should go into them and take just like
Oh,
see how many
right,
moves
look at their-
on average.
that's a good
like
idea.
literally look at all the games,
Yeah.
see the average amount of moves every character in the game has.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Well, this was part 1 of Greed, and also our little talk about mechanics here. We appreciate you so much for accompanying us on this next part. We can't wait to finish up this Greed chapter, and I mean, it's because we're really digging into the meat of the game now.
Right.
We're here.
Absolutely.
So we thank you all for joining us. And of course, feel free to post your ideas too and help us out here, make this thing a lot easier and get your
Right.
name on this project as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If you have an idea for a crouching grab or crouching...
The crouch and
whatever-
grab is so stupid. That's
It
the
is.
dumbest thing you've
But
ever
can
said.
you
to
imagine
me.
it's like...
That's ridiculous. That's so
What
dumb.
game has a crouching grab?
That is so dumb. I'm not going to entertain you right now. I'm not going to look at you.
I mean,
right
there's a
now.
slot for it.
Yeah, you want to figure out a crouching dash
That's-
too?
Crouching dash is wild. he goes through a hole underneath and then hops up someone random.
That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
It's
All right.
not-
This might look different next chapter, but
Oh, yeah.
I do also like what we have here.
Mhm.
Alrighty. Thank you
Yeah.
all for joining us, and we never really figured out a thing to say at the very end. Yeah, don't start umming again, because that was so stupid last
What do you
time.
mean? Is that exactly what I
No,
did?
yeah, no, you just started going,
Yeah, and then we did do exactly
No,
that.
we did do that exact
Yeah.
thing, and then I cut it when I was going,
Right, but we're not going to do that this
No, we're not
time.
going to do that this time. Last thing of the night. Let's figure that out. Last thing to figure out tonight. We'll see you next game.
I was going to say something with like the title. Rumble Roulette is still not the title.
Rumble Roulette's not the real title. And remember, it's a working title.
Remember, it's a work in progress. Everything we do.
Oh, you're going to sound so stupid on recording when you just said that right
Why?
now. Oh,
Why?
you'll see it. You're going to sound like an
Why?
absolute
Because I
dipshit.
looked this way?
A little bit. Don't worry about it.
Is that what you were pointing out?
Don't worry about it at all. Don't worry about it at all. Let's figure it out.
Well, if you're going to cut it out, then I'm never going to know. Okay.
Let's think. This is the last thing we have to figure out.
absolute.
It's
last
like
one.
impossible to make an outro that's not so cheesy though.
It's okay if it's cheesy.
Stay
We just have
tuned.
to commit to it.
See you. You know, it's like we don't even come up with a title for our game. You know, how do we come up with an outro?
Right. Is there like a thing they say during craps where it's like, all right, table's closed? This is dumb.
Maybe.
This is dumb. What we're doing is absolutely stupid. I'm going to open OBS and stop the recording.
But then actually don't because
Right
then you
now.
say you wanted to redo. The
Oh wait,
intro.
I've got